It's time for Combate. La Jaula awaits, and we have some fights to get you going on a Friday. Co-main main event coming up, but as we always know, the preliminary card always provides the talking points, the highlights, the knockouts. This is what we're looking forward to. That main event is a real good one. The number 2 lightweight in Combate, Puas, taking on the Alley Cat Alvarez. He looks to shoot up those rankings. A win against Puas would do the job. Vernon Ramos of Panama taking on Castillo, and Andrea, Amaro, and Claudia Diaz in the 115-pound division, which we have highlighted with our top 10 rankings. We're actually going to start our card with a couple of women that hope to be in those rankings before too long, and their shot at that starts right now. La Jaula awaits, and it will be Alibeth Milliron out of Michigan, representing the U.S. against Tanya Nijjar out of British Columbia, Canada. This is in the strawweight division, 115 pounds. Get a victory here, and maybe you could start talking about making those rankings. One step at a time. Big moment for these two ladies as they both make their Combate debut. Let us get it started. To the voz, Lupe Contreras.
Entrando a la jaula, Alibeth Milliron.
Alibeth Milliron, got her 2 names, Alice and Beth, put them together. Very catchy. She has the U.S. flag draped. She last fought in February. Looking to get back in there and really get her career on the right track here, Rodolfo.
Yeah, had 2 victories right from the start, just coming off a defeat. She has great footwork. You're going to see right from the start, has a boxing stand-up style right from the start. She's taking on Tanya, who is very effective with this wrestling. Very curious to see how she uses that boxing style, because you tend to run into some deep waters when you face a boxer and a wrestler.
Decorated amateur career, 13 fights before moving to the pros. She's ready, and now let's go back to Lupe.
Su oponente, Tanya Nijjar.
Another Canadian fighter. Canada's been pretty good at Combate as of late. Was fighting in the amateur ranks in 2016. Has hit the reset button. Started martial arts training right after she finished high school. Fell in love, you hear so often, and now she is off in running. Unbeaten as an amateur.
Unbeaten, but again, you're taking on a person in Allie who is very effective with the boxing. I think her point here is to try to take this fight to the ground, wrestle with her, test her on there. Maybe start off a little bit, of course, with the striking, but go ahead, test the ground. That's where you're very effective.
Building the women's rankings, building the women's divisions. These 2 women now have a chance to make a big blast to their career here in Combate. Major company, major fight for both of these 2 as we go head-to-head. Milliron, 5 years the senior. She is all level on reach. It is Nijjar with a 1-inch height advantage. She came slightly overweight. We're ready for all the action. Let's go on la jaula. Back to Lupe Contreras.
División peso paja. There's about 3 rounds in the strawweight division. Los jueces son, the judges are Dorian Mirasola, Vicente Rodríguez y James Lázaro. Presentando la esquina azul, presenting the blue corner, vestida de azul, wearing blue. Su peso oficial, 114 libras y media, her official weight, 114.5 pounds. Entra por cuarta vez a nivel profesional, con 2 victorias y 1 derrota. She enters la jaula for the 4th time as a pro, with 2 victories against 1 defeat. Fighting out of Petoskey, Michigan, Alibeth Milliron. Su rival en la esquina roja, vestida de rojo, her opponent in the red corner wearing red. Marcó un peso oficial de 118 libras y 3 cuartos. She tipped the scales at an official 118 3/4 pounds. Esta noche entra a las grandes ligas de las artes marciales mixtas, debutando dentro de la jaula de Combate Global tonight. She enters the big leagues of MMA, making her professional debut. Fighting out of Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada, Tanya Nijjar. El referee, Christopher McNachy.
Christopher McNachy, the 3rd inside the jaula.
All right, bring it in.
All right, let's have a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. If you want to touch gloves, do it now. Good luck to the both of you.
Alibeth, Milliron, Tanya, Nijjar, USA versus Canada.
The big opportunity for Tanya here, Max. It's her big stage.
Right. Round one, are you ready?
She's all business. Look at her. She's not changed the look on her face. And be able to suppress that excitement, that enthusiasm. This is her professional MMA debut. This is something she's been working on for years. She's here, but you couldn't tell by the look on her face.
Absolutely not. You know, she has to take that deep breath, compose herself, realize, okay, this is my pro, this is a big stage, but I've done this before. This is not my first day in the office. And she's starting out right. Once you throw that first shot, you kind of get the butterflies out the door. Ali, just like I said, she got that boxing. See how she dukes around a little bit because of that footwork.
Good footwork for both fighters early on. It is Nijjar in red representing Canada.
Yeah, Tanya needs to work on that jab. He was very effective right from the start. Because Ali's going to come right at you, especially with that footwork. She's going to cut the corners. But good stuff from Tanya.
2-0 for Milliron before her defeat in February by submission in the second round.
Great that she keeps up her hands. Good guard. Ali tried to land a flurry of punches, but Tanya's had those hands up. This girl belongs here.
With the clinch, trying to do some damage. Milliron completing her master's degree in clinical mental health. Mother of 3. Makes a very busy day-to-day, and to get prepared, spends as much time as possible in the gym. Started MMA back in 2008, did take off some time to focus on family.
Great to show her skills from Ali. Tanya attempted to do a guillotine to wrap that left arm. Ali ripped it and tried to change levels, and now she's using La Jaula,
advance your position, please.
Posting her left shoulder, putting all that weight, but Tanya landing that knee. That didn't phase her. Yeah, that didn't phase her.
Came way upstairs for Nijjar. But Milliron doing her best to take this to the ground, although gave up her back, and now she's Nijjar is in the mount.
This could be very, very troublesome for Ali. Good hair on her, grabbing that wrist. Now she needs to, that figure 4 lock on her hand, she needs to push up her hips, although she has to be cautious because look at that right hand. She could land into a standing rear naked. You don't want to do that.
Rodolfo, it seems like we're seeing more of that in these takedown attempts where the opponent, or sometimes the person who's making the takedown, to set up the back. Nijjar saw a chance and she slid it right in, and now she has got complete control here.
You know, that's why you have to be, at any position, you always have to keep your guard up. You can't have any loose ends. Whether if you're in the clinch or you're trying to change levels, because look, Tanya, she's doing what she has to do here. Ali is shifting that chin, keeping her chin down so Tanya won't grab it. But you're right, Max. We have been seeing a lot. You have to protect yourself at all times. I can't see from this position. You guys are referees.
She's got it, dug it in.
She may have it.
Underneath the chin, and she taps. First round submission victory for Nijjar. She took advantage of the mistake by Milliron, and she is victorious in her professional debut. 1-0.
Breathe it in, Tanya. Congratulations. Woo. Good stuff from that young lady.
Milliron, who got off to a great start. She had a strategy to apply that pressure. She went to take down her opponent, and it backfired.
Very impressive.
Still no emotions. There's a smile.
Yeah, I don't think she realizes she won.
It's one thing to get a victory, Rodolfo. It's another thing to say on your victory, submission, rear naked choke, round 1.
I'll tell you this, she did her homework looking at Ali's last fight. Ali's last fight she lost by submission. But Tanya had a good game plan. She was very composed, very relaxed. As a boxer, she let her come in.
Campbell McLaren was just with us. I'm sure he's on his way to La Jaula, and if he was there, he would be inside it. We will have the official decision. Impressive stuff by the Canadian, and more Canadian success here in Combate. We know in Canada they love MMA. Some great Canadian champions, George St. Pierre, among many, Rory McDonald, the Red Knight.
Well,
go
so
on
the
and
Red,
on.
the Red Knight. If I got his nickname, we'll skip. We'll talk about that later. I shouldn't speak before I know.
Thought they were gonna do it right.
But this is a huge spot for Nijjar. We showcased the rankings in our pre-fight show at 115. She comes in. She came a little bit over. She came in at 118. Got to fix that. If she can get to 115, she's got something to work with. And now, as we said, the rankings are a target. We are back, and we are ready for the official decision. Tanya Nijjar fighting out of British Columbia, Canada. Your winner. For the official announcement, let's go to Lupe.
La esquina roja aplica el mata león, obligando a su rival a darse por vencida con un tiempo oficial de 3 minutos 1 segundo del primer episodio. The red corner sinks in the rear naked choke, obligating her opponent to tap with an official time of 3 minutes 1 second of the very first round. Your winner, by way of submission, la ganadora por sumisión en su debut profesional, Tanya Nijjar.
There is a smile. Huge moment for her. Micah Framowitz inside the jaula to acknowledge the victory. Our matchmakers do a wonderful job all there as well. We'll keep it going here on Combate Global. Much more coming your way here at Paramount Plus. Show you again. This triumphant moment by Tanya Nijjar did not look like a fighter that had not fought in some 6 years. Still even timid on the walkout. She's just getting reacquainted
Max,
to this life.
I'm telling you, when I looked, I'm like, does she know where she is? Because she had that facial look like, whoa, what am I doing here? But she had a goal, she had an agenda, and that is to finish off this fight very quickly. And that's exactly what she did. Ali, again, she has that boxing background, and we can go on for days and debate just like the rankings that were released today, but when you get a fighter that has a specific bread and butter, whether it's wrestling or boxing, you skip to that stance. You have to evolve. This is MMA. Anything could come at you at any single second. And I think that was the issue here for Ali. As for Tanya, listen, you had a good strategy. You used that jab, you took it to the ground, you stood to that wrestling, as I mentioned. She had pretty good wrestling, and we saw here tonight, landed in that submission victory. Go home happily.
Also, so Arafat Torres, part of our matchmaking team, is the stats. We didn't get very deep into that fight, and it all ended with the rear naked choke. Alibeth Milliron applying the pressure early on, try to take it to the ground, which she did, unfortunately, to her own demise. The rear naked choke locked in for Nijjar, and she's 1-0. And that's going to look good on her record. She's going to hold on to it, and it's got some equity when she gets her next fight. We look forward to that here on Combate Global. We are just getting started, and we have started with a bang. Much more Combate Global on Paramount Plus and a worldwide audience when we return.
Soy Claudia Diaz, tengo 27 años y soy de Barcelona. La persona que más ha influenciado en mi vida ha sido mi primer entrenador, que es Javier Sáenz, porque realmente él fue quien me puso la semilla, ¿no? Que me dijo, sí, entrena, que te voy a poner a pelear. Y él puso esa semilla y bueno, pues hasta ahora. Dentro y fuera de la jaula me considero una persona que respeta tanto a sus compañeros como a los oponentes, pero en el momento de entrenar o en el momento de pelear quiero ganar. Sin hacer daño a nadie, sin querer ir por encima de nadie, pero hay que hacerlo un poquito, ¿no? Mi movimiento favorito actual, pues puedo decir que son mis combinaciones de puños, mis patadas desde siempre y mis rodillas. Mi última pelea con Combate Global fue en abril contra Manuela Marconeto. Perdí después de 3 rounds. Ella hizo una muy buena estrategia. Y bueno, he aprendido mucho. Ahora nadie me va a poner contra la jaula. Voy a usar mi striking, voy a usar mi jiu-jitsu si necesito, voy a usar mi lucha y vengo preparada para todo. Mi pelea de esta noche es contra Andrea Amaro. Considero que es una peleadora completa, creo que le gusta bastante el jiu-jitsu, pero también le gusta el striking. Entonces yo me he preparado para ella y vengo a ganar. El mensaje que le doy a Andrea es que espero que venga lista porque yo he entrenado muchísimo para ella y he subido de nivel como peleadora para enfrentarme a ella.
Welcome back, and we are going from fight to fight. Axel Diaz out of Mexico City, now fighting out of Stockton, close to that famous Diaz brotherhood. And it is Chris Boasso from Miami. Saw him last time, he fought Tino Guilarans. No one could stop the Spaniard, but we know Boasso is the real deal, and he will be looking to get back to his winning ways. Diaz, Boasso, to Lupe Contreras.
Entrando a la jaula, Axel Diaz.
Axel Diaz has not fought since October of 2021. Wanted to lose weight, got into MMA, and the rest is history. He used to be a soccer player, and he was a very good soccer player, but learning it wasn't going to be what he wanted to pursue, and then he has pivoted here to MMA. Also a kickboxing champion, so this guy can strike.
He could strike, and that's what he has to bank on here. He has to work that reach, and he has a very good jab that he uses to keep that reach. So he's going to need it against Boasso if he wants to get this first victory here inside La Jaula of Combate Global.
Currently training with Nick Diaz's academy in California. Excellent know-how, and he's got the right name for it. No relation. As for his opponents, I knows the Miami fight scene very, very well. Back inside the jaula, looking for some success. Let's go back to Lupe.
Su contrario, Chris Boasso.
Chris Boasso has been very entertaining. He has the Cuban flag draped upon his shoulders. We last saw him against Tino Guilarans. And that was a weird one because we hadn't seen Tino Guilarans in a long time, but clearly that was a fighter who had improved astronomically. He looked amazing. Maybe Chris Boasso wasn't sure he was getting that Tino Guilarans.
I don't think he got what he expected in the mail there when he took on Tino. He was just pretty much he demolished Chris, but he learned from his mistakes. He knew that he had to be a little bit more composed, use some of the striking. This is a good fight. This is a good matchup for Boasso. He's been ready to fight. He's been staying ready. I think we're going to see a different fighter tonight.
The head-to-head, we're going to be at the 150-pound weight. Boasso taking it on short notice, couldn't get down to the 145. Diaz couldn't either. So 150 it is. Boasso, 7 years the senior. He is 3 inches taller, and he has 1 inch via the reach. These two guys normally would look to be that 145, but they see what they can do here as we go to Lupe.
Continuamos con mucha más acción. Este duelo 3 vueltas a un peso pactado a 153 libras. We continue with much more action. This bout of the catch weight of 153 pounds. Los jueces son, the judges are John Rupert, Dorian Mirasola y Vicente Rodríguez. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un combate global. Presentando en la esquina azul, vestido de verde con blanco, presenting the blue corner, wearing green with white, su peso oficial, 149 libras, his official weight, 149 pounds. Entra a la jaula en su 7º combate a nivel profesional, con 4 victorias y 2 derrotas, y entras la jaula for the 7th time as a pro, with 4 victories against 2 losses, de la Ciudad de Mexico, and now fighting out of Stockton, California, Axel Diaz. Su contrario en la esquina roja, vestido de azul, his opponent in the red corner, wearing blue, marcó un peso oficial de 154 libras y 3 cuartos. He tipped the scales at an official 154 3/4 pounds. Entra a la jaula con 3 victorias y 3 derrotas. He enters la jaula with a record of 3 victories against 3 losses. De sangre cubana and fighting out of the MIA, Miami, Florida, Chris Boasso. El referee internacional, Raúl Porrata.
You heard the man, the referee internacional, el gran bigote. Roll Borata.
Órdenes y mi mandamiento, protegen en todos momentos. Obey my commands and protect yourselves at all times. Toquen guante, regresen a sus esquinas.
Axel Diaz, now fighting out of Stockton, the toughest little city in America. Chris Boasso, been there, done that. This is his 4th fight with Combate. He's 3-3 overall. Not only did he lose to Tino Guilarans, but Miguel Gonzalez, who's another high-rising fighter at 145, did defeat Miguel Lugo back in April of 2021. The TKO in the first round.
The upper edge, though, does go to Chris Boasso, who trains with another very impressive camp at Kill Cliff FC, now formerly known as Sanford. So he's gonna try out, test a little bit of the hands, but he can always change levels and goes to the ground. He's very versed on the ground. I'm curious to see if and when he does change his levels. As for Axel, great strike. Here it is. Chris Boasso could capitalize on this opportunity. All he needs to do, open the leg right there. Maybe look for the rear naked shoulder.
Again.
Land some shots. But
he's lowered the hips.
There it is. He's opening him up.
Diaz, who has been a spirited striker, kickboxing champion, this is not his MO. He is training with Nick Diaz, trying to get better at this, but has he done enough work to defend it because he is taking a lot of punishment? Now he turns, trying to remove the back. Boasso's not going anywhere.
He got caught. He got caught, Max.
Oh, Boasso squeeze.
He's in trouble. There it is.
2 fights, 2 first-round submission finishes, both by rear naked choke. Chris Boasso is back.
Give that man a beer. He pointed at one. Absolutely
He pointed at the
great
beer.
performance. He deserved it. When he walked inside La Jaula, you just knew right from the start this guy was up to something. He felt very, very impressive. Look, he's even calling out, you have no ground.
You got no ground.
Is that a shadow? Is he blasting Nick Diaz's camp?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you got
we know
no
the Diaz
ground.
brothers,
I mean,
right?
Nick Diaz is royalty when it comes to jiu-jitsu, but so be it. Never a dull moment. We'll be back to lift the arm of Chris Boasso. Pretty impressive. I mean, that was real quick work. Diaz should almost look like he shouldn't have been in that jaula with Boasso.
If you would have kept blinking, you would have missed it. That's how fast Boasso was. Great, impactful performance. He's a confident man now. Back in the winning column.
Getting now ready for the official decision. Hands it off to Lupe Contreras.
El tiempo oficial. 1 minuto 16 segundos el asalto número 1, the official time. 1 minute 16 seconds of round number 1. Your winner, by way of submission, el ganador por sumisión, Chris Boasso.
Chris Boasso improves to 4-3. Combate Global, we are back on a Friday on Paramount Plus, and an incredible start to our card, back-to-back first round rear naked chokes. We go to the next fight. It is Germán Orpineda and Israel Gonzalez.
Israel Gonzalez.
MMA still very new to Israel Gonzalez. Wanted to be a boxer and then shifted his focus, trains at Warrior Camp Gym in Spokane. It seems like more and more fighters calling Spokane home. It's becoming a hotbed for mixed martial arts.
One of the men that leads it is Mr. Pablo Alfonso. You saw him right behind him with the face mask there. Warrior Camp has delivered some great fighters here for Combate Global. They're definitely stepping up to the plate. Great talent. This man's a boxer. Potentially we may see some of his ground game here tonight. Very excited to see when you get the evolution of a fighter from boxing to jiu-jitsu and overall MMA fighter.
As for his opponents, let's meet Germán Orpineda, a spirited, decorated kickboxer.
Su contrario, Germán Orpineda.
Kickboxing, not always the perfect fit when moving to MMA. It's a great background. You gotta be more well-rounded, but if you're as good as a kickboxer as Orpineda, maybe that could disguise some of the shortcomings in other departments.
We see it all the time. If you are a stand-up fighter in kickboxing or boxing, right, a wrestler will expose you. But if you're able to play the reach, if you're able to defend any takedowns, that will make you unstoppable. Just one person that really reminds me of someone that was able to accomplish that was Robbie Lawler when he made the shift promotions. Prior to that, he was being taken down all the time. He went to American Top Team. He changed it all around. His takedown defense was impeccable. But eventually they figured it out. But man, what a great work he did.
Head to head, we are in the flyweight division, which has so many heavy hitters. These are two young men. Hermano Orpineda, 2 years the senior at 24, 1 inch via the height, 2 inches via the reach. To Lupe.
Este duelo, 3 vueltas, división peso mosca. This bout, 3 rounds in the flyweight division. Los jueces son, the judges are Dorian Mirasola, Ricardo Celis y James Lázaro. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un combate global. Presentando en la esquina azul, vestido de blanco, presenting the blue corner, wearing white. Su peso oficial, 125 libras, his official weight, 125 pounds. Entra en su tercer combate con una victoria y una derrota. He enters the jaula for the 3rd time as a professional with 1 victory and 1 defeat. From Spokane, Washington, Israel, El Machete, Gonzalez. Su contrario en la esquina roja, vestido de negro, his opponent in the red corner, wearing black. Detuvo la báscula a un peso oficial de 125 libras y 3 cuartos. He tipped the scales at an official 125 3/4 pounds. Entra por cuarta ocasión a la jaula con una victoria y 2 derrotas. He enters la jaula for the 4th time as a pro with 1 victory against 2 defeats. Puro Chihuahua, Chihuahua, México. Hermano, el macho, Orpineda. El referee from the DR, Tommy Santana.
Tommy Santana III inside la jaula.
Saludos caballeros, bienvenidos a su combate global. Hemos repasado las reglas en el camerino, espero que se conduzca como los profesionales que somos. ¿Alguna pregunta? ¿Buena pregunta? Vale.
Hermano Orpineda. Israel Gonzalez.
¿Listo? ¿Listo?
We are underway. It is Gonzalez in white, and they meet in the center of the jaula and throw. And Gonzalez immediately wants a restart and try and go to the ground. The striker is striking. Oh, big kick upstairs. Catch that now downstairs.
Right,
as advertised, Rodolfo.
We're not trying to blow smoke. What you see is what you get here. Again, let's see here, try to go ahead and arm throw. That didn't work out.
And right now you see Gonzalez doing what had to be what his coaches say. Let's get this to the ground against a guy, especially after you got a taste of a couple of those kicks.
Yeah, and as I said, with Pablo Alfonso's camp, with Warrior Camp, that's you can come in as the striker, and that man has had quite the ride in mixed martial arts, so he can let you know about that knowledge, how you're able to apply that into your game.
Stop, low blow, it looks like.
Acá. Queda roja.
And unfortunately, you get to see these kicks from Max. As you,
that does not sound good.
No, it does not.
Doc.
Hate to see that here. Oh, right smack in the groin area. Ouch.
Ouch indeed, to put it mildly.
Tranquilo.
Tommy Santana, who just said stop, and everyone stopped.
He's gonna get his 5 minutes there. Doctor checking up on him.
Sounds terrible.
Which by the way, Max, when you get kicked in the groin, you get your 5 minutes now. The latest rules is even if you get poked in the eye, they're gonna give you those 5 minutes.
If you saw what I
Some
saw,
of
it was hard.
the changes to the rules in mixed martial arts. That will be coming up very soon.
And you can hear Tommy Santana said that was hard.
Tiene suficiente tiempo.
It happens.
He says you have plenty of time.
It happens, Max. It's something that
Tiene muchísimo tiempo, tranquilísimo, tranquilo.
he got his 5 minutes. I don't know if Vernon is telling him what to do by spreading in the butterfly stretch there, because that could help in this situation.
Like I saw it clearly, and it was like a delayed reaction. It was a delayed reaction. I'm like, did he not feel that?
Really, really good.
Orpineda sitting there as if it's going to be a long haul.
You know, and then what happens in this situation is when you're in a momentum, you're in a rhythm, and you get kicked down there, it totally sets you off the rails to come back. And not only for the fighter that's hurt, but also the opponent, right? The one that did it, because he's now not warmed up. He has to keep ready to go, get that blood flowing, get that heart race going. So that takes him up. Oh, of course, that was
And we are heading towards those 5 minutes.
Holy
and whether
cow.
this fight can continue, and it doesn't really look like Gonzalez is in any position to do that at this moment.
And Max, it is so hard to overcome that, especially the way that he was kicked.
This is a pro debut for Germán Orpineda. You know, he just came shut out of a cannon. He wants to get in there. This was no intention there, and then
he seems to be all right now. He seems to be composed.
Look at
He's
the
ready
eyes.
to go, yeah.
He says, one more moment. Orpineda says, you got it.
Give me a second here. Let me take a deep breath. Again, it's hard to once you get kicked there, to pick up the pace where you left off. But you need to keep warm, especially for the opponent. Again, they took a point.
Took a point away from Germán Orpineda.
Oh, wow.
It was that serious.
Oh.
This is a pro debut for both fighters.
Oh, Germán, he knows what he has to do here. Obviously, he cannot make that same mistake.
Big left hand over the top by Gonzalez. He was very sporting. He met him. There was no hard feelings, but he did get the point. So,
man, it's not like he did it more than once. Wow. Okay. Well,
range finding.
Orpineda needs to pick up the pace here. Gonzalez, of course, going to the ground. That was very effective. But Armando using in that defense, holding on to the head. Of course, Gonzalez trying to get the mount. Germán attempting to stop him from doing so. You could even hear the corner there. Que no lo monten, o sea, don't get the mount.
Did say this is the debut for Israel Gonzalez. It's his Combate debut, 1-1 coming in. His last fight in January of 2022, a first-round TKO.
Germán doing what he needs to do, holding on to the leg, trying to push up the leg so he could keep the fight on the feet. But right now, Gonzalez trying to find a good positioning where he can land some shots. Referee warned him to watch out the head or of any headbutts from this position.
Israel Gonzalez, a brief amateur career. He won both his fights there and was ready to jump into the pros. Again, fighting out of Spokane, Washington.
Germán on the floor, looking for something, searching for something, and that could be so exhausting, Max. If you're on the back, you're searching. Now, it's very early on in the fight, but as you get to the latter part of the fight, you're sweaty, maybe there's blood around, makes it even more difficult. But here, I mean, he's doing what he has to do, wrapping those legs around, maybe trying to grab an arm, trying to stop the momentum from Gonzalez.
And you feel bad for Orpineda.
Yeah.
Although this was self-inflicted, certainly, because he came out, he was aggressive, he was getting his kicks in. It forced Israel Gonzalez at times to desperately try and take that takedown. And then the low blow, 5 minutes, and now he's on his back. So Orpineda has to really catalog where he's at and find a way out of this mess. Also, a point deducted.
That right here is the key. Orpineda needs to get off this position or do something
What do you think of Israel Gonzalez now that he hears that point deduction? Because you know it's going to benefit you if it goes to the decision.
But this is only the first round.
Yep.
This is only the first round. Anything could happen. You still got a good 12 minutes to go. It's very early on. Sure, I'll feel confident, but I won't put my car in cruise control. I can hit a bump anytime here. I have to be consistent here. I can't feel comfortable.
You spoke that like a true Miami driver.
No, I don't think so. Those guys are not comfortable when they drive.
Yes, driving in Miami, folks, it's one step below getting inside the jaula with regards to danger. As Israel Gonzalez gets to his feet, tries to lower some of those forearms. In the meantime, Orpineda trying to get those elbows, a couple close to the back of the neck.
Yeah, he's trying to get those legs over to attempt to get some triangle, but it's a difficult position. Gonzalez playing the role as he should here, landing those shots. Referee's letting it go because he is seeing some action here, so there's no reason to stand him up. He is landing in some elbows, but Vernon already in deep waters. That point deduction, he's been on the ground for most of the part of the round. We'll get 2 minutes and change.
Still into the guard of Orpineda, and that's looking like the way this first round will end. So some pretty decent ground defending for the kickboxer Orpineda as we get ready for round 2. And I imagine Orpineda relieved to be back on his feet.
But frustrating too, because you're coming into the second round already with that point deduction. You lost that round. But look at Pablo Alfonso, the corner of Gonzalez, telling him, put that pressure, keep putting in that pressure. It's working for you.
He knows he's going to take, he knows the coach is telling him that you're going to take him down. Set it up. Go with a flying knee or lead kick to take down.
And you hear the coaching, and this is really interesting because they're just reminding his fighter, look, they have to be aggressive. They got a point to make up, and they lost that round.
Don't let him hit you with inside kick. Okay? Catch his inside kick. Okay? All he has is 3 and a 4. Okay? And that's what he's really exactly.
Very good dialogue between the coaches there and Israel Gonzalez.
And I'd like to add a max. We heard during the corner Pablo Alfonso telling Gonzalez a 3 and a 4. 3 and a 4 could be meant several ways, but the way I know it, a 3 is a cross and a 4 is a hook. Again, every coach, every team has different.
It's like giving signs to the pitcher.
It's just
you
like
mix
an
it up a
NFL
bit.
football player, right? Yeah, it's the same thing. You know, Statue of Liberty, man. That's what they got. You'll hear a 3-4, throw me a 6. You know, usually it's an uppercut. But again, every team has different names. Every team has different numbers for it.
And during the break, we did hear that corner saying that to Israel Gonzalez. He only has a 3 and a 4, reminding his fighter what to look for and what not to be worried about. Because Orpineda's, big kick to the inside of that left leg, and Orpineda did not like that. He recoiled.
So keep an eye on the cross of Vernon. That cross. You'll see that he keeps using it all the time because he feels very comfortable to set up what he wants to do. Paulo Alfonso was telling Gonzalez that, look, they know that you're coming in, but you have to be aggressive. Maybe fake it, and as you're faking it, maybe land the knee and something else.
It stayed on the feet here, which is great news for Orpineda, who, again, an undefeated kickboxer coming into this new world, this new challenge of MMA. National champion in kickboxing down in Mexico. This is a guy that Combate has identified, knows that he's raw, certainly in the MMA circles, but has seen his ability as a striker and giving him a shot to see if it can all add all up in here.
Oh, this is such a difficult position
Sitting down
here. Yeah, I mean, you're literally setting him down and setting him for trouble. Vernon, of course, using the arms to push him off. That's exactly what he had to do. Maybe he can use his feet to push him off with the hip. Right now he can even position himself without putting his hands on a jaula, but at least his body weight he could use it to push himself up. Gonzalez was doing great stuff, pressuring in, using that shoulder to keep pinning Vernon to la jaula.
A reminder, Herman Orpineda in green had a point deducted in the first round, so at the very worst, round 1 ended 9-9. It would appear that Israel Gonzalez won that fight. He was much more aggressive while on the ground after a low blow. And now, if he can get the judges here in round 2, he is well on his way to victory, but a long way to go before we get to that.
Just a few seconds ago, Germán was just looking up. I don't know if he was looking at the coach or something else, but maybe he's looking for some advice.
Stop.
Referee told us.
No agarre la jaula.
Don't grab the jaula.
I don't see why he said stop, because he was being caught
That would
with the
normally
elbows.
suggest to break it up.
Right.
They didn't.
Right. I don't know if he meant to stop, because to be cautious of the elbows in case they land to the head, but the elbows were landing in the back. He was okay.
Back to the feet. Now Orpineda can unfurl. Trains out of Entram in Chihuahua. Kick upstairs, not much behind it there from Gonzalez. The striking is much better from Orpineda.
Oh,
but he gives one and he takes one.
He got hit with that hook.
Is that the 3 or the 4 hook?
That was, again, it varies so much. I'm going to go ahead and say it was a 3 for me. That's how I know it. It's a hook, left hook. But it can vary for different camps. It can vary for different teams. You don't even call it by numbers. You can call it something else.
Another attempt there by Israel Gonzalez.
Castigando.
Want some action.
Again, Gonzalez pinning Germán to la jaula, working in those shots. He can change levels, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's setting it up, softening him up, so he can just quickly change levels and take this fight to the ground. And he can do it because he has that resistance from the jaula. So it helps him out. It helps Gonzalez to do so right here.
As we heard the corner from Israel Gonzalez, he only has these 2 punches. Israel Gonzalez over the top. Orpineda, we know he's a striker. He hasn't been able to get going. All in all, though, as he catches an uppercut, his defending and his grappling's been okay.
Enough to do the job. You know, that's to get him to defend himself. But look at that, catching that leg, trying to go for the takedown. He had to do was sweep it. But Germán was smart to go to the jaula.
Doubling up there, Israel. Now the uppercut with the left hand. 125 pounders here.
Germán's doing what he has to do. Trying to do as much as he can to keep this fight on the feet. And
Lots
when it
of
comes
uppercuts.
to the floor, it's just, when he goes to the floor, it's just pure defense. That's what he's doing. That's a hook. That's that 3.
Not as much behind those strikes from Orpineda, and you can't fault him for that. And this has been a long fight. Remember, we had almost a 5-minute delay in that first round due to the low blow. We're approaching the end of round 2. They're on their feet and heading to the 3rd. Israel Gonzalez showing some good striking there as well. And I was going to point out, he threw at least a half dozen uppercuts at some point in those first 2 rounds.
Yeah, let's take a look at this right here. He tried to go for that low kick at the outside of the leg, but Gonzalez was persistent in chasing Germán and taking the fight to the floor, or at least using la jaula to pin him, landing in those shots. Now, it might not seem like much, but it's effective enough to gas out at least Germán, get him frustrated to do something, opening him up, weaken him, make him vulnerable. Look how Gonzalez landed in that right hook.
Ya no tiene la empeine que te la tiene ya casada. Ya te la tiene casadota, güey.
So,
no, vamos a hacer la finta. Mira, Superman. Haz la finta debajo y a Superman.
Venga, mijo. Entra a la línea. Entra a la línea.
We are back ready for round 3, and we heard the Orpineda corner there, Max Bretos and Rodolfo Roman.
Yeah.
They sense that they know you've got to find something big here in the striking.
He said, use the front kick. He knows that you're coming with the side kick, so use the front kick to push him off and then follow through.
Round 3, you would think Orpineda would need a finish here. Doesn't want to risk it going to the judges with that point deduction.
And it seems like Germán is just, I don't know if he's doing it on purpose, or maybe he's getting tired, but his hands keep to be falling. He doesn't have them as high as he did in the earlier rounds, and he's more like exposing his face.
Yeah, and he doesn't like fighting a southpaw, because you can see that whole body is wide open, and every time Gonzalez fires that left jab, it connects.
And it's very frustrating when you take a southpaw. I can tell you, when I take on southpaws, it's just...
It's weird because in reverse, we don't talk about it. You go, oh my God, you're fighting a right-hander if you're the southpaw. It's always an advantage for the left-handers.
Always, always, always. And the key here is to step with that left foot every time you're going to strike.
Switching stances here. Gonzalez, another uppercut. Orpineda grabbing his ribs, and Gonzalez goes for it and takes him down.
Right for his bread and butter, what's been working for him
Castigando.
for the most of this fight. Referee telling him, hey, do something. Get some elbows positioning there, the side of his head. Trying to scoop him up, maybe even bring him to the center of la jaula.
He keeps going castigando. He goes, let's start punishing each other. Which
Gonzalez is landing elbows there, so he is castigándolo.
He's looking for action, so he doesn't have to pick them up. Gonzalez now puts that forearm in the face of Orpineda for a little bit of leverage. We're quickly moving into 3 minutes to go in this fight.
Gonzalez wrapping up that right leg of Herman, not allowing him to move much. He's trying to mount, and this is what Gonzalez wants. He's mounting Herman. The cage is behind him. La jaula's right behind him, so he can scoop him in to as much as he can to the center of la jaula, where he can castigarlo, landing in some shots from the mount.
And now he is full mount. Just got that left leg dragging, but now he gets it up.
Yeah, all Herman doing is here is keeping his elbow just to protect his face. He's not doing much. He is now trying to bridge. Now,
La nuca.
You hear the coach's corner from Herman. Take the leg out. And what he means by that is he can't take that leg out, that right one specifically. Sneak it in the hip of Gonzalez to push him off. Or he could wrap it up as we're doing here to maybe grab something. See, as he was trying to make some submission, that left arm of Gonzalez was free for a moment, trying to catch it. But catching one in Gonzalez's arm right now is like catching a fish in the canals of Miami. You're not going to get one.
News for all of us. As if
plus, you don't want to eat it.
You might catch, yeah, you don't want to eat it. You may catch a turtle or something. Doesn't detract anyone from actually dropping a pole in there. You never know. But Israel Gonzalez has it in control. Again, things to work there. Here for Orpineda to see how he can defend himself on the back, to see what he can do in the ground, because he has a long way to go. A big difference from kickboxing to MMA.
Big difference. And it takes time. You know, it does take time. When you're doing something for so long, your body is just your natural
Solamente castiga por la izquierda, no castiga la nuca.
That's why MMA is just one of the most difficult sports in the world.
So many
arsenals, so many different
Muay Thai, kickboxers, boxers want to go in there and see what they do, but you have to have a well-rounded body of work to be successful. There's no ways around it. Orpineda learning that lesson.
It's so crazy to think you get all these martial arts and combine it to become as successful as you can as a well-rounded fighter. So it's really a very interesting sport, and that's why it is where it is right now today.
30 seconds to go, and Israel Gonzalez on his way to improving to 2-1. He will be buoyed by the point deduction from Orpineda. Orpineda now in his his fourth Combate fight. He has been brought in here to find his legs, to find the sport. And so far, he hasn't been able to do it here.
Yeah, Gonzalez just dominating this entire round, especially on the ground, just working the body, keeping active, doing what he has to do for a victory. Plus that 1 point deduction in the first round. But sportsmanship, Gonzalez lifting up Herman. Much respect for both of these competitors inside La Jaula.
This would be huge for Gonzalez, a chance to go 2-0 in the calendar year. His eyes still a little watery from what ensued. It was a really nasty shot to the groin, and you could hear it the way he was reacting to it.
Was it too soon to take that point? It was just one shot. It was unintentional.
It was but you heard Tommy Santana say it was a really bad one.
Yeah, but
you got to protect the fighters at the end of the day. I would tend to agree with Santana just because it was so square and the impact. And
let's see if we look at some of the work. He tried to go for that flying knee, switch knee actually. And then Gonzalez landing in that jab. And I mean, for the most of this part, this third round was just dominated by Gonzalez on the ground, mounting him, landing shots like some elbows as you saw there. Herman just couldn't catch. He couldn't catch anything at all. he had to switch the bait if he wants that fish, because he sure as heck wasn't catch anything.
And about Orpineda, still a young fighter. He'll have to go back to the drawing board and work on his game. Let us go to Lupe Contreras.
Damas y caballeros, después de 3 vueltas, los jueces entregan tarjetas idénticas de 30 a 26 after 3 rounds. All 3 judges turn in identical scores of 30 to 26 in favor of the winner. By way of unanimous decision a favor del ganador, por decisión unánime, el machete, Israel Gonzalez.
Victory for El Machete, and based on the scorecards, he didn't need the point deduction. He wins 30-26 across all 3 judges.
Great stuff for this young man. Another victory for the Warrior camp. I'm sure his coach Paulo Alfonso is a very proud coach right now. Leaving the aula.
Getting close to the top of the hour and to our main card here on Combate Global on a Friday night, Paramount Plus. Now, as we await for the main card here, of course, our main event, Puas Perez, the Alley Cat Alvarez. 2 fighters in the top 10 of the lightweight division. We also have Andrea Amaro, Claudia Diaz, both ranked fighters in the women's strawweight division. Earlier this evening, we unveiled the top 10 strawweight rankings for the women. You can see all the rankings on combateglobal.com and all our social media handles. Agree or disagree, it's a huge addition here, and we can just, when we talk to the fighters, Rodolfo, you can hear the difference, because now they have something that they can focus on and say, I want to fight this fighter, I don't want to fight this fighter, I remember him, why does he have that ranking, etc., etc.
And you could judge yourself where I am, right? You could really, and now this is like playing darts. You know, you can start throwing that dart where you want to be. You can put yourself, but you need to know what you have to do to get there. You got to take the best. You got to fight the best. You can't pick and choose. You have a list here. Now let's go ahead and see who I can put myself and show you, as we're looking in right now at the number 2 ranked Puas, getting it ready. Very excited to see this young man in action once again.
Puas is the real deal, Holyfield, but how does a fighter who's 22 react when everyone's coming at him? And the Alley Cat awaiting as well. La Jaula, as we're approaching the main card, we'll get you all the action. We have a fantastic main event. Puas Perez is one of those fighters you stop what you're doing to watch, one of the most talented 155-pounders anywhere. Samuel Alvarez knows that, and he's hoping to seize an opportunity. Vernon Ramos from Panama, facing the always entertaining Ivan Choco Castillo, and Andrea Amaro and Claudia Diaz. We're in Miami, never a dull moment, as we get you to all the action here shortly. Inside the Jaula in this beautiful city, Freedom Tower awaits. It's going to be Amaro Diaz to kick it off on the main card.
My name's Samuel Alvarez. I'm 29 years old. I'm fighting out of Manteca, California. My nickname is the Alley Cat, and I got it from one of my training partners. Yeah, every time he would try to like corner me, and like when we're sparring, I would like strike and move, and he said I was hard to catch like an alley cat, and it just stuck with ever since. When I was 11 years old, 11, 12 years old, around that area, my brother showed me my first MMA fight, and it was a fight against Uriah Faber and Jens Pulver in the WEC. And ever since I seen that fight, I just liked it ever since. What makes the fighters stand out in my country is just the hard work and dedication they put into every sport they do. They put, you know, they give it all. They don't just half-ass it. They put 100%, 110% into everything. I would describe my fighting style like I'm well-rounded. I like to strike, but I'm also good off my back in jiu-jitsu, and I'm also good on top. I think my jiu-jitsu is what makes me stand out. You know, I trained one of the best teams in the world, Gracie Fighter. My coach, Darren Cooley, really helped me out, round out my jiu-jitsu game. My favorite submission is the triangle. I got long legs. The last time I fought for Combate Global was in May 13th, and I fought Jordan Beltran. I beat him by decision. From what I learned from that fight is that I came into that fight with a lot of injuries. And now I got just trained a little smarter leading up to the fight because it was like the last minute before I got hurt. The kind of fighter I think I am, I'm more of a mind fighter. Like I know I come at everything with an approach. I don't just come out, full speed. I like to measure my attacks. Cristian has put on a show tonight.
Miami Beach, you name it, all parts in between. La Jaula resides here, and fighters from all over the planet come to spill their blood, their sweat, and their tears. And tonight, the biggest name, one of the biggest names, I should say the biggest name, some think he is, will be competing in their never miss a Cristian Puas Perez fight. That is part of what is coming your way on the main card here on Paramount Plus, as well as our worldwide audience. We'd like to welcome you wherever you are tuning in. We also have our 115-pound rankings revealed earlier today. We will have the straw weights in action here in moments to start off the main card for Combate Global. So a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, a lot could change tonight, next week as well.
We always have high expectations for our preliminaries. We don't know, and they were incredible. 2 first-round submissions.
They were just absolutely awesome. We saw some fresh faces, some new faces inside La Jaula that are very promising, and they too could put their name in the hat to potentially be part of those rankings.
Get ready for our first fight, and Andrea, Amaro, Claudia, Diaz both know they can get a victory tonight. They're going to move up, guaranteed. But that won't be easy as we preview that one next.
My name is Andrea Amaro, and I'm from El Paso, Texas. I feel like I've always been fighting all my life, not just for myself, but for those people around me who have supported me. I'm fighting Claudia Diaz. She's a Muay Thai specialist, great stand-up.
Me llamo Claudia Diaz, mi apodo es La Imparable. Mi pelea de esta noche es contra Andrea Amaro. Considero que es una peleadora completa, creo que le gusta bastante el jiu-jitsu, pero también le gusta el striking. Así que yo me he preparado para ella y vengo a ganar.
I think it's going to go the distance. I mean, I really feel that this is going to be a really good fight, something to watch. So.
Espero que venga lista porque yo he entrenado muchísimo y he subido de nivel como peleadora para enfrentarme a ella.
Amaro and Diaz, 2 fighters with so much at stake. Certainly for Claudia Diaz, cannot afford to take a slip up here. Her career, she came in hot, had that incredible victory over sexy Dulce Garcia, but as of late has labored and now knows this is magnified. Amaro the same, as there is the head-to-head. 3-inch height disadvantage. Let's go to Lupe Contreras.
Las reglas oficiales de la jaula, 3 vueltas de 5 minutos, 3 jueces utilizando el sistema de 10 puntos. Este es el duelo coestelar de esta noche en la división peso paja. This is our co-featured bout of the evening in the straw weight division. Los jueces son, the judges are James Lázaro, John Rupert y Dorian Mirasola. Presentando la esquina azul, vestida de negro, presenting the blue corner, wearing black. Su peso oficial, 114 libras y media, her official weight, 114.5 pounds. Entra por quinta vez a la jaula, con 2 victorias y 2 derrotas. She enters la jaula for the 5th time as a professional, with 2 victories against 2 losses. Representing El Paso, Texas, Andrea Piggy Amaro. Su contraria en la esquina roja, vestida de color amarillo, her opponent in the red corner, wearing yellow. Marcó un peso oficial de 114 libras y 3 cuartos. She tipped the scales at an official 114.75 pounds. With a combined combat sports record of 18 victories against 11 losses and 1 bout even. Con un récord combinado de 18 victorias, 11 derrotas y 1 empate. De Barcelona, España, la imparable Claudia Diaz. El referee internacional, Raúl Porrata.
You heard the man, Raúl Porrata III in La Jaula.
Obedezcan mis órdenes y protejan en todos momentos. Obey my commands and protect yourselves at all times. Toquen guante ahora si quieren. Back to your corners.
As you could see, a decisive height advantage there for Claudia La Imparable Diaz.
Lista!
Well, Diaz has a good corner with Rafael Alves the turn, Cesar Canedo, and Daniel Valverde, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu extraordinaire. And on the contrary, you have Andrea, who has Mike Diaz and Carlos Pacheco. Mike Diaz, I personally know his sister, works for the ISC company, so shout out to Mike and his camp.
Diaz in Spanish yellow. Andrea Amaro last fought, was victorious with a first-round TKO over Carolyn Cordoba. That was on the same card where Diaz was on the main event against Manuela Marconeto. Diaz would lose to the Italian on that night, so maybe they crossed each other in passing and were able to do a little scouting. Here they are again in a very competitive 115-pound division. Diaz using that height and the reach.
Styles makes fights, Max, and this is a fight that Diaz wants, striking. Andrea's gonna take it. She said in her interview that she wanted to test her hands. She wanted to see where she is. And if she wants to test her striking, Diaz is the perfect person to do so. Prior to becoming a full mixed martial artist, Claudia Diaz was just unstoppable competing in Thailand, hence the name La Imparable, which is in Spanish.
La Imparable, she's from Barcelona. Imparable, never stop, despite so many challenges. That's the nickname that she has self-proclaimed. She's been a poster girl for Combate Global. You see her a lot on the marketing, a lot of the public relations.
Well, Diaz doesn't want to be here because this is mirror image of what happened in the previous fight. Maybe Andrea took that page from the book and played that clinch work the last time that Diaz was in that fight.
It worked.
It worked. It's frustrating for Claudia because she wants to strike, she wants to stand up, but you're right, it does work. But does it move you up the ranking with that type of performance? If you're in the clinch for 15 minutes, does it move you up? Was it impressive enough?
Was an impressive record for Claudia Diaz that we saw at the beginning. That is buoyed by her Muay Thai prowess. Lived in Thailand, was phenomenal in that discipline. But when you bring it all to MMA, she had that highlight reel knockout, leaving Dulce Garcia a bloody mess. But the two fights since, it has been a struggle.
Andrea tried to catch that leg when Diaz took the low kick. But Diaz quick to take it out the way. Go for the switch kick now. Andrea trying to grab. She's just waiting for that opportunity to catch that leg. But very crisp boxing from Andrea. Yeah.
She's walking through some of those strikes.
That boxing is crisp. You can see it here. The improvement from the last time we saw. It's just getting better and better. Look at that.
Good right hand from Diaz.
Oh, she felt that though. She felt that, Max.
Such a direct striker. Oh, another good right hand, Diaz.
I think Diaz smells blood right here, Max.
The fight just turned. Amaro had all the momentum until she didn't.
Andrea going back to the clinch.
This is where Diaz should be excelling. The Thai clinch if she can lock it in. But right now, Amaro's feeling more comfortable. Maybe just to slow down the striking, which has been impressive.
Ooh.
Diaz with the combination.
In the pocket, Diaz is very impressive. See how she's landing in that jab. Following it with the right. Oh, there it is.
Right hand.
If I was Andrea, I'll go to the floor.
Andrea Amaro, an incredible story. Was homeless in high school years, had issues with her father. She also had to come out of an autoimmune disease, was always feeling fatigued. Talked to her doctors about it, goes, no, you're all right. She went to a dermatologist because her face had some issues because of that dysfunction, and the dermatologist said this is not skin related. They got the blood test and they found that she did have the autoimmune issues.
We're seeing a different Diaz today, Max. She feels very confident. In fact, every time that Diaz throws, Diaz, she gets to that high kick, Diaz nods and say, nope, you don't have me.
Has to feel confident in that case. It is another good straight left hand from Diaz, but Amaro getting some. She got rocked by that kick. And the
look at that
knee. Back into the clinch.
Diaz not wasting any time. There's no shortness of action from Diaz. She's bringing it.
Amaro, the number, she sat her down. The number 4 ranked strawweight Diaz is the number 9, locking up Diaz at the final seconds of this first round. Maybe a guillotine attempt. End of round 1. Impressive opening round of action. 2 fighters that are ready to die on their shield if they have to, threw everything their way. High impact, high volume opening round.
Different Diaz we're watching today. Very, very different fighter.
Toda vez que ela bota o pé, você quer matar também, você tem que bloquear essa aqui. Você tá se dando bem agora já. Tem que bloquear. Outra coisa, no direto, tem que jab de encontro.
All right, with a little Portuguese that I understand, Max.
Não, você tá bem. Você tá bem. Tá perfeito.
All right, she says you're good. Keep kicking, but block. I breathe.
Eu quero que você trabalhe isso aqui, ó, Claudia. Olha aqui, easy demais.
To work the low kick.
Ela vai querer botar você pra baixo. Vai um pouquinho mais. Claudia, aqui pra mim. Quer mais?
This is
Jab de encontro, tira ali.
Afuera.
Jab de encontro.
Ahora, dale. Muévete.
first time we have gone to a second round, and worth a reminder, we do have open scoring. Claudia Diaz has to feel pretty good about it. It was close because remember, Andrea Amaro had some moments there. Now the question, Rodolfo, Claudia Diaz, whether she won that round or not, she has to be happy about the way it went out. She got her licks in. How does she build off to it here in round 2?
Keep at it. Don't stop. Andrea has great cardio. And she won't stop. She's like the Energizer
And
bunny.
she's not stopping.
And she's not. So you have to be persistent. You can't settle in. If you were very impactful in the first, great. But look, Andrea, look, this is where she wants to fight. She has that strong ground game here. Look how she's positioning this so beautifully. See how she picked her up? She was very patient, picked her up, bringing her to the center of La Jaula as much as she can.
She gets into that side control and has very good spacing and has Diaz in some trouble. Now this is where Amaro wants to go. Trains hard down in her hometown of El Paso, making sure she has the jiu-jitsu and the grand game down pat, including at 10th Planet El Paso.
Okay, Andrea needs to position. Get out of this position and take this. Oh, he's going to be cautious, giving the back away.
Amaro's locked in. By the way, Diaz won that first round. That's the official scoring.
Andrea wrapping it, those legs around, waiting for an opportunity for Diaz to make a mistake so she can land the rear naked, but Diaz doing enough to keep holding on to that right arm.
Pretty good submission defending there from Diaz. That's a massive improvement.
She's doing what she needs to do, absolutely. And credit has to go to the MMA Masters, man. They got Daniel Valverde, who is an extraordinaire in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Amaro's not giving up, though. She feels like she has something, keeps crawling on the back, and she has Diaz locked in.
Andrea just very patient. You can hear the corner. Mike Diaz telling her, be patient, wait for it. And you get that. You can be as good as you can. You can improve as much as you can improve in the ground game, but...
that one gets under the chin.
No, she does have her chin down, so she's doing what she has to do. Diaz is trying to bridge from that position. She needs to rip that hand, push that elbow up.
Oh, she's in trouble now. She spins around.
No, she still has the chin down. She's okay.
So much time on this clock for round number 2.
Diaz is all right. She's doing what she needs to. She's ripping up that arm. Then she's probably going to move to that left elbow, push it up. But she's keeping her chin down. She's doing what she has to do.
She's taking the coaching well.
That figure 4 leg lock around the body is very tight, very tight.
You can see it's contorting the waist of Diaz, but now where does she go? She is locked in.
That's what it is, but the thing is that where they get you is because you're so focused on the figure 4 leg lock. On the figure 4
Diaz
lock.
now has to get control of that wrist.
Yeah,
She gets
good
out
stuff.
again. But what can she do about downstairs? That's
There it
the
is.
problem.
Keep turning around, flip, popping up those hips to break up that lock because she has it deep, very deep. But as she's pushing the hips, she needs to be cautious because then you forget about your hands. But she's doing what she has to. Diaz is doing a good effort here.
Feels like a long time where Diaz had the upper hand via the striking. They have been on the ground and pretty much the extent of this second round, and Amaro has had the high ground.
Yeah,
another spin, another attempt. Raul Porata looking in.
She's turning. She's doing what she's doing. She needs to be patient, though. She needs to be composed.
Well, Diaz was there with 3 minutes and change. She's now whittled it down to 1:30.
This position for Diaz is like walking on eggshells. So she has to be cautious. She can't leave anything opening because Andrea will snatch it.
She's still trying to work that triangle loose. That's got to be so hard, Rodolfo, to relinquish it because it's just like a jigsaw piece. It just fits in.
Yeah, but eventually for Andrea, there's going to come a point that it does become exhausting, especially for your legs, circulation. You do get exhausted.
Diaz continues to battle back. She may lose the round, but she can position herself to win the fight.
And actually, if this fight goes to the feet, Andrea is going to take some time for her legs to recuperate all that blood, to the blood flowing.
It ain't working now. The first one was the best attempt, but Diaz has it sniffed out, making sure that arm does not get underneath her chin.
Yeah, now you get that 37 seconds, so it will benefit Andrea going into the third round, because she will be able to get that float bank going. See how the
they'll
lock,
get broken up.
Yeah, and the lock wasn't breaking off. The lock was already coming off.
Great work for Claudia Diaz.
Yeah.
That is massive improvement for her. And now she looks to finish round 2 with the bang. She's lost this round, but certainly could leave a calling card for round 3. Another takedown. Amaro gets flushed.
Fouls Diaz. I'll work on those low inside kicks right now. Andrea's legs are a little tired right now.
Route 1 punch as we get to the end of round 2. Take a deep breath. 2 very different rounds. 2 fighters that will give no quarter, take none.
Hearing to Andrea's interview today, and usually when you interview some of the fighters, right, they'll tell you, oh, this is done in the first second. She said, no, I think it's going to be a very competitive 3-round fight. And that's what we're about to get.
And it would appear that Diaz has more of the knockout power. Remember, she has a huge physical advantage, even though they're both at 115 pounds.
She's the stronger of the two, you would say, but Andrea's resilient. She's a tough girl. Take a look at the replay. Going in with that single leg, swooping in straight to the floor. She is using the howler to put herself. Get ready for the next one.
So this is it, Claudia Diaz. Claudia Diaz won round 1.
Lista, acción.
You'd be shocked if Andrea Amaro didn't win round 2. Everything to fight for in this 3rd round. 2 fighters that need it.
For Diaz, keep pushing that pace. Don't slow down. Use the reach. Use your strength to push Andrea off. You don't want to take this fight to the ground. As for Andrea, it worked for you in the 2nd round. Make your way, and you're going to have to probably take a shot or 2. But go ahead and take it to the floor. It was your bread and butter in the 2nd round. You were very effective. That is your keys here in this last round, this last chapter. But nice jab. See how she set up 1-1-2. Great stuff. And I like how Andrea's coming in with those shots very tight. No loose ends, especially with the hooks coming in tight. Sometimes when you tend to throw, and especially when you're using your hips, you expose all of that face on the right-hand side. But man, she's coming in crisp.
Claudia Diaz trying to inch closer and closer for the striking. This is a Muay Thai champion. She held the Muay Thai title. We're going to get back her winning ways. That right hand got flushed out by Amaro. Amaro's doing very nice in the striking here, composed and direct. Doubling up.
What I'm surprised that Diaz is not doing is working those low kicks. Look at Andrea's lead leg. It's wide open for you.
Short left hand there by Amaro. Plugging away. A long way to go in this 3rd round, but every moment counts.
I think what we've seen a lot from this. There's a leg. Goes for that takedown defense for Diaz. Good stuff on her end.
Stood up by Diaz. As you can see, Amaro did win the 2nd round. We are all level, heading into the 3rd round for everything to fight for. Diaz does not want to go back to the ground.
Maybe a head and arm throw. Nope, no sir, no today. Diaz keeps his fight on the feet. What I've noticed, Max, is that Diaz, she has that Muay Thai background, but she's boxing. She has that boxing stand-up with Andrea. That's what she's doing.
You haven't seen a lot of the Muay Thai, to be honest. Not the clinch, not in those knees.
Yeah, see, look at her right here. She is boxing with her.
Oh, 2 for 1. A short right was good from Diaz, but Amaro got one in as well.
And the stance, the whole Muay Thai stance, it's like, oh, it's just gone. It's just gone. She is boxing scrappy fighters just going at it, man.
2.5 to go, and both of them are just throwing for the fences. Does Amaro keep doing this? She had so much success taking it to the ground, and Diaz hated being on the ground. Amaro connects, kick to the midsection.
This is a fight, man. This is good stuff.
Where are the power punches? There have been some hard hitting, but not one that has really shook the other, and we're getting to the very deep end of the pool.
And you can tell that both these ladies are having fun. I know that they're just beating the crap out of each other, but they're having fun.
Listen to the corners.
Yeah,
I mean,
they are having
it sounds
fun.
like the New York Stock Exchange in there.
But every time that Andrea throws those punches, man, she smiles. It's great to see when fighters are having fun in there.
I mean, both these corners know how important it is for these fighters. Amaro wins, and she can move possibly as high as 2. Diaz wins, she will skyrocket up those rankings.
And imagine what a defeat will do. What you're gonna have to question here. What
guillotine attempt and out.
Andrea, though, Chris with the boxing, keeping it up.
So much on the line. We have seen these fighters go at it. It is just growing in magnitude. But can the power punch, can a submission attempt slip in here? Amaro's not a stationary target by any means.
At all. She's so fast-paced, and credit goes to all that running she does.
Yes, she was a national junior college half marathon national champion. Her therapy is running. When she's not feeling good, she goes and runs 15 miles. Man. She is fit.
Now we see a kick from Diaz. Now we see a knee from Diaz, but we haven't seen much of it. She's just purely boxing with Andrea. Show some kicks. I think you have a minute to go. Work that inside kick. It's available for you.
Rodolfo, it's funny that you brought up the running when you did, because right now Amaro looks so much fitter. She looks like the fight just started, with the exception of a few marks here and there and the sweat building up. Diaz getting leggy. There's no doubt about it.
I bet you can tell this young lady after this fight she'll run 4 miles.
She would. Oh, great left hand by Amaro. Now we're right. Diaz has to fight back, or she's going to lose this.
Diaz says no, but she is busted open there in the nose area.
30 seconds.
Woo!
Bloodied up Claudia Diaz. Amaro with a boxing masterpiece late in round 3.
If you're not getting chills, you're not human. This is a great fight, man.
A fighter that had to deal with homelessness, autoimmune disease, had the hard path every step of the way.
Everything. They threw it all, man. They did not leave anything, even to the last second.
Unbelievable third round.
Man.
Unbelievable.
That was awesome.
Swinging for the fences. Unfortunately, there's going to be a loser, but there's going to be a winner. And what a story to tell.
Mi nombre es Cristian Pérez, me dicen Puas, soy de Ensenada, Baja California y tengo 22 años. Mi estilo de pelea es ortodoxo, me gusta ser un peleador completo, tanto arriba, tanto abajo y en todos los ámbitos. La diferencia entre mis oponentes es que mi mentalidad me lleva a dar más cada día y que arriba de la jaula tengo el gen guerrero, que no creo que no respeto a nadie arriba de la jaula. En mi campamento para esta pelea estuve trabajando el boxeo mexicano, tanto que me fui a preparar a México en este campamento con boxeadores de alta talla en un buen nivel a nivel mundial. Yo considero que yo soy la persona que más ha influenciado mi carrera como peleador profesional, porque a veces me he quedado solo en lugares donde no hay con quién entrenar o no tengo compañeros para entrenar, y yo tomo la decisión por volar o irme solo, manejar algunas horas para ir a entrenar. Yo ser peleador para mi familia es algo que los hace sentir orgullosos de mí. Obviamente yo sé que a mi mamá y a mi papá y quizás a mis hermanos siempre están como que saben que podría ocurrir algo arriba de la jaula, entonces saben que esto es lo que me gusta, esto es lo que me apasiona. Yo peleo porque a mí me gustaría dejar historia. Mediante las peleas trataré de cambiar vidas o dejar una historia o sembrar una semilla en algún peleador o algún compañero. Quiero lograrlo, quiero decir yo fui el campeón, yo hice esto.
We highlighted the strawweight division. We had an incredible first round rear naked choke in our preliminaries, and this classic on the main card. Now we await the winner. It was all level after 2 rounds. Who gets the edge? To Lupe.
Después de 3 vueltas de mucha más acción, los jueces están de acuerdo, con tarjetas idénticas de 29 a 28. After 3 rounds of much more action, the judges are in agreement with identical scores of 29 to 28. All in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision, los tres a favor de la ganadora por decisión unánime. Andrea Piggy Amaro.
Piggy, a nickname she gave to her brother who dealt with some weight issues. She got a tattoo for her brother, and then a coach saw it and called her Piggy, and she is victorious. And after that 3rd round, hard to argue, and the number 4 ranked strawweight with a lot to look forward to. Coming up, it's the main event. It's the Alley Cat representing the EEUU and the man known as Puas. Superb stuff there inside of the jaula. You're devastated for Claudia Diaz, and it's etched on her face.
It's a difficult position to be. Her coach Cesar Carneiro wrapping that arm. She's despondent, rightfully so. It was a tough fight. I mean, there's no reason to walk out of la jaula with your head down. I mean, she put on a show. She brought everything that she could. She didn't slow down.
And Rodolfo, I would say Diaz didn't lose this fight. Amaro won it. It was all level after 2 rounds. She sat in the pocket and just struck.
She struck
like a champ, and outstruck the striker really here.
And on a positive, and of course you don't want to lose, but on a positive, you can see that she has evolved, especially with her boxing.
The main event is here. Perhaps the number 1 box office attraction in Combate Global is Cristian Puas Perez, but he's currently the number 2 ranked lightweight. His one defeat to the man at number 1. He wants another shot at him. He has to get by Alley Cat Alvarez.
I would describe my fighting style like I'm well-rounded. I like to strike, but I'm also good off my back in jiu-jitsu, and I'm also good on top. I think my jiu-jitsu is what makes me stand out. I trained one of the best teams in the world, Gracie Fighter. My coach really helped me out, round out my jiu-jitsu game. I come at everything with an approach. I don't just come out, full speed. I like to measure my attacks. I've been training a lot of leg kicks. I do a lot of box, all that, but I've been perfecting trying to check more legs and not taking so much damage to my legs. And I feel like that's going to be the big difference. I see the fight going as just me winning.
Samuel and Elliot, I love you guys.
All right, Cristian, let's put on a show.
Samuel Alvarez, every time we see him, he gets better. Training under the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu there. He's out of Manteca, California. Very confident of his ground game, and he feels that is what's going to separate him against Puas. Decorated amateur, California state champion at that. Had a few bumps along the way in his MMA career, but it seems like he's figuring it out. Really impressive when we've seen him recently.
I like Puas' vibe. He's very confident about this fight, but don't sleep on Sam Alvarez. He said in an interview, I have nothing to lose.
His opponent, Puas.
Me gusta ser un peleador completo, tanto arriba, tanto abajo. La diferencia entre mis oponentes es que mi mentalidad me lleva a dar más cada día y que arriba de la jaula tengo el gen guerrero. En mi campamento estuve trabajando el boxeo mexicano y con algunos compañeros tanto de jiu-jitsu, tanto selección de lucha. Yo tengo un don desde que nací para pelear y mediante las peleas trataré de dejar una historia o sembrar una semilla en algún peleador o algún compañero. Yo creo que voy a ganar esta pelea porque me he esforzado. Hay metas a corto, a mediano y a largo plazo. Una de ellas es terminar mi casa. Entonces tengo que arrancarle la cabeza a él para terminar mi casa.
Puas Perez, the 22-year-old out of Ensenada. Samuel Alicat Alvarez called him a pretty boy. He said, well, better to be a pretty boy than an ugly one. Alvarez called him the poster boy, etc., etc. This is a big lightweight test. He's number 2. Alicat is number 7. This guy is such an entertainer, Rodolfo.
He is. But, and I like his vibe. I love his flair. But as a fighter, you need to put that aside. You need to focus. You need to forget about Baby Bull. He's the number 1. Focus on Sam Alvarez. That is your obstacle in the way today.
Cristian Puas Perez, who did lose to Baby Bull in that November tournament, feels that if he wins here, he should be number 1. At the very least, we'd love to see that rematch. The head-to-head, Alvarez 7 years older, 2 inches taller, 6 inches longer. We are in the lightweight division, the 156-pound max, both fighters making the weight. We're ready to go. This is going to be electric. To Lupe Contreras.
Este es el duelo estelar de esta noche. 3 vueltas, división peso ligero. This is the main event. 3 rounds. In the lightweight division, los jueces son, the judges are Vicente Rodríguez, James Lázaro y John Rupert. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un combate global. Presentando en la esquina azul, vestido de azul, presenting the blue corner, wearing blue. Marcó un peso oficial de 154 libras y media. He tipped the scales at an official 155½ pounds. En 12 combates, mantiene un récord de 7 victorias y 5 derrotas. In 12 professional bouts, he maintains a record of 7 victories against 5 losses. Fighting out of Manteca, California, the Alley Cat, Samuel Alvarez. Su oponente en la esquina roja, vestido de negro, his opponent in the red corner, wearing black, su peso oficial, 155 libras y 3 cuartos, his official weight, 155¾ pounds. En 10 combates, mantiene un récord impresionante de 9 victorias y solo 1 derrota. In 10 bouts, he has an impressive record of 9 victories against 1 lone defeat. Representando a Ensenada, Baja California, México, Cristian Puas Perez. El referee, Josh Rutgers.
Josh Rutgers and the best mutton chops in MMA.
Judges ready. Judges ready. Judges ready. Gentlemen, bring it in. We already went over the rules in the locker room. If there's any questions, ask them now. If not, just please obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Do everything you can within the rules to win. Most importantly, best of luck. God bless. Touch them up. Back to the corner. Wait for the bell.
Tremendous stare down. I love
how
how
want to be in the middle, man.
Alicat stared, but he pivoted like he goes, I'm the lefty here. You're going to have to deal with this.
Oh, man, that was a vicious look on both men.
Begin.
Yeah, Alvarez loves to switch stance, but of course he wants to go in the southpaw to throw off Puas.
And we agree here, Rodolfo. This is a dangerous position for Puas. He's been talented. He's 9-1, electrifying fighter. But Alicat can be a bad matchup here because of the ground game.
There's one man at the top of the lightweight division, and that's Enrique Baby Bull Gonzalez, and he has faced both of these men, and he has defeated both men. Now, the thing that Puas needs to be concerned about is that Alvarez has great wrestling. And if you have solid wrestling, you have good enough defense to counter his jiu-jitsu. Puas said he's been working on his stand-up game, especially his boxing, with top-notch Mexican wrestlers. There's a reason for that. It's because he wants to test Alvarez's hand, because we know that Alvarez has some sharp skills with his hands. So that's what makes this a very interesting fight, and to see what Puas is all about, because there's a reason why Alvarez is ranked number 7. This guy's no slouch.
I will say this, Rodolfo, really impressive opening minute from Puas, dictating terms, and Alicat unable to catch with him. So far, missing on those punches, Puas staying out of reach.
He's patient. Oh, he did catch him with that calf kick.
And now Alicat feeling the talent that is Puas. Puas, which translates into barbed wire. Good combination.
Puas saw that fight between Beltran and Alvarez. Alvarez was not checking those kicks. He just kept kicking and kicking and kicking, and he forgot to check it. He said he did. He said he worked on it, but he didn't check that one.
But the precision, maybe these strikes aren't that heavy-handed or heavy-footed, but everything connects from Puas.
It's setting it up to where he wants it to be. You know, he's setting up for something. It could be the ground game.
By the way, pardon me, Rodolfo, we mentioned Enrique Baby Bull Gonzalez, and one thing in favor of Puas, he lost to him in a tournament final. So had 2 fights before. He beat Alfredo Ruelas and Patrick Lehan. You just don't know what happened in those previous fights to affect the final. It's a different fight.
Different animal. Yeah, if you get Baby Bull and Puas, you're going to get 2 fresh fighters. Puas keeps working that calf kick. He studied that tape. When Alvarez took on Beltran, he studied it to work on those legs. But yes, you get a full camp with Puas and Gonzalez. 3 rounds, 50 minutes, you might get a different result.
Alicat did have a nice left hand. It was a left jab. He switched to a right-handed stance now. A lot of being exchanged between these 2 fighters as well.
Yeah, he likes to switch a lot. He likes to feel it out.
Ooh, whizzes by.
He started off with a southpaw and then realized, well, let me go ahead inside the other side.
Well, this is the truth, Rodolfo, and you would know more than I would. But if it stays like this, standing up, Puas is going to win this fight.
Right, he's working. He's doing what he has to do. He's not just focused on the head. He's working on the body, working on the torso, working on those calf kicks. There's another one right there. It's been working.
Almost
he's
took his feet away.
He's connected a good 3-4 calf kicks already.
Beautiful fighter, Puas is.
It's precision, man. It's just breaking down the fighter. Look at the inside kick. Breaking down the fighter little by little to where you want him to be, where he's vulnerable enough, where you can attack.
The one thing about Puas, too, is Alicat wants to do a takedown, wants to get into a submission situation. But Puas, while he may not be great on the ground, he doesn't let you take him to the ground.
And the way things are going right now, we've been at 4 minutes in this first round. I have not seen any, well, Alvarez attempted a little changing of levels, but I don't think we might see that at all here. I think that Puas, who's for the most part directing this fight, wants to keep this fight on the feet.
Puas 9-1 in Combate. He got peppered there. Got peppered, got called a little, but not high impact shots from Alicat Alvarez.
Just to be cautious there.
Puas 9-1. All of his fights are with Combate. He started 5 wins in his first 6. 4 of those first round submissions.
Very good fight so far from both these men. They know what they're capable of doing. Puas felt that one there.
Keeps catching that foot, but it ain't working. Puas ain't going anywhere.
Yeah,
good left jab.
It will be a lot more beneficial for Alvarez to keep this fight on the feet.
Now in close quarters.
He did get clocked with that jab.
10 seconds to go here in a very entertaining, eventful first round. Kick to the head by Puas. Returning the favor by Alvarez. Let's go to round 2. I think it was Alicat saying, I love this blank. They love to fight.
That's awesome. Let's hear it. All right, breathe in heavy. Be careful with the right hand. He comes to the side and he hits the right. He's trying to catch with that. Balance yourself.
Fighters up, let's go! Let's go!
First round was good. It certainly set the table for round number 2. We'll get the official scoring, although Puas and his striking certainly creating most of the highlights. Max Bretos, Rodolfo Roman. This is our main event. Big one in the lightweight division. Enrique Baby Bull Gonzalez, as Rodolfo pointed out, has beaten both these fighters. He's number 1. Puas is 2. Alley Cat 7. He's working that lead leg. That's something, Look, he's withdrawn that left leg. He's hurt a little bit.
Again, he keeps connecting. I'm telling you. Now see how Alvarez, now he's picking up the legs. Check it. So now you might say, if I am damaged, Max, and my left leg is there, as we look at the open scoring here, there's no doubt here, there's no secret. Puas took that first round. If you're saying, if my left leg is injured and I want to block those kicks, but I don't want to check them because they're already damaged. So what you do is, as you see them coming, step out, put that leg backwards. The back. But he keeps connecting. He keeps connecting. He does not check the leg.
Blood coming out from the right eye. The leg is getting walloped now. Big trouble.
Whoa.
Stop it here, Josh Rutgers.
What happened here?
Mouthpiece?
No, I don't.
Let me see.
Oh, they're gonna get the
cut.
Doctor to look at this. It is bad.
Ooh.
It didn't look that bad, but it is.
Holy cow!
Gnarly.
Oh, right on the eyelid.
Right on the eyelid.
Oh man. Woo. It's like a horror film.
It looks like a special effect. There's nothing special. This is real. Says he can continue.
Okay, though. He's okay.
Red corner, ready?
Vision's going to be an issue. That blood's dripping right above that right eyeball.
Yeah, and Puas is just going to attack that. He's going to attack with that jab. You're going to see it. There it is, right from the start. Jab, 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 jab. Alvarez, though, very smart, keeping that right hand up, not to connect it.
Alley Cat Alvarez victorious over Jordan Beltran via split decision back in May. In the tournament November 2021, beat Jimmy Sandlin, lost to Enrique Baby Bull Gonzalez in the semi. If he had won, he would have fought Puas in the final. Just violent strikes. Oh, inside on that kick. Went to the eye.
Where are you going to see a fighter who's so confident and really does what he says?
Yep.
You're looking at him right now.
And he's wise beyond his years. He feels like a fighter who does the homework. He's a smart kid. He said he could have gone in medical school, but he loves fighting. He was going to be good at something, but this was the best he had in his playbook.
And this guy's only 22 years old.
Oh, he's on a rocket ship. And by the way, if he fights on Combate, you can't miss it. If it says Puas, tune in, because you're going to see a guy who loves to fight and loves to entertain.
But you know what's more interesting? His age, 22 years old, and he's such a young
he keeps
fighter.
switching the legs.
He's had now, over 10 fights. But what's more impressive is that you could have sworn that this guy's been fighting for years because he's so patient. Usually when you get a young fighter, they're so happy, they just want to finish the fight, but no.
Alvarez can't walk, he's still firing.
Yeah,
that left leg is gone, that right eye is bloody.
He keeps switching stance, but it's just not effective. Puas is damaging him. He's making him very vulnerable. He's cornering him, Max.
There are so many targets for Puas. He just let off a little bit of a smile. He knows Alvarez is in his traps.
He hit him in the rib area, just connecting.
How tough is Alvarez, though? He's standing there and he's throwing. He's connecting.
He's a tough dude. There's no, you can't take any credit away from this man.
Oh, he caught him with the left coming in. He's got no left leg and he's still fighting hard.
Wounded, but keep on fighting, Alvarez. This guy's a soldier.
Yeah, he is from a part of the world that you have to be tough as nail. Manteca, California, just below Stockton, the home of the Diaz brothers. Just east of San Francisco, San Jose, where it is the epicenter of fighting.
He's limping, Max. Look at that right leg, how he limps.
Puas has to keep hitting that lead leg. If he's going to give it to him, there it is.
Now he's going to go to the other one, of course.
A little blood on the face of Puas.
And you're going to make him immobile now.
Unbelievable fight.
But what's more impressive is here that for 2 rounds, Puas has been consistent with the striking. We haven't seen any ground game, which he's known for, right?
Oh, Puas got hit on the way in. Samuel Alvarez is having an amazing revival. He is so beat up, can't stand on his left leg, can't see out of his right eye, and he keeps fighting. He hits Puas with a straight right, and now a combination. Puas has stopped swinging.
Man, oh man, fighting literally on one leg.
30 seconds to go. Big uppercut. Alley Cat has got a chiseled jaw. Wow. Do you think Puas is getting a little frustrated?
Oh yeah,
this guy's got to be on the ground.
Of course he's frustrated.
This fight's got to be over.
And that's gonna benefit Alvarez. That's what he said. I got nothing to lose. That's how he's fighting right now.
Buckle in, folks. We are going for a third round. Does Puas have enough in reserve? Can Alley Cat stay upright? Que pelea! Man, what is going through his mind? It is like a Rocky movie. He's looking at Alley Cat. He goes, he's not human. He shouldn't be standing.
He worked on those calf kicks. He opened up his right eyelid. This guy just won't go down. That's the tenacity and heart that the Alley Cat has. He got hit there with a left jab, the jab, ran into it. That's what opened it.
Let's work on staying southpaw as much as you can, and those jabs are working perfect.
There it is right there. Here's the corner.
Cracked him with a jab and a straight. Use the jabs. When he overblock and when he doesn't respect the jab and walks past that, that's straight lefts right there. Boom, that's the one you cracked him with already. So, ¿qué sientes, pa?
Say so! Now, let's go!
Es un chingón usted, mi carnal, la verga. Póngase esa madre.
Let's go!
We are back, and the chess match begins. The right eye is almost shut. The left leg cannot put any pressure on it. Round 3. Puas undoubtedly has won the first 2 rounds.
And the respect is there, of course. He's won both of the rounds.
How aggressive does he get here? It's in his MO. He's going to be aggressive.
That is, okay, so do you want to go for the kill, or do you just want to do enough so you can go in and, you've won the fight, you're going in already the 2 rounds. Do you play defense and you let Alvarez just come to you? Because Alvarez has to go here. It's desperate measures, desperate time comes for desperate measures. He's going to throw everything he can. He has to go for either the knockout or the submission. So far, what we've seen in this fight is going to have to be a knockout. So Puas has many opportunities here. He has to be cautious, though. Again, Alvarez is a dangerous fighter. He said, I have nothing to lose, and that's exactly how he's fighting.
Alvarez, if he can put aside the pain, can he put aside the discomfort? He just needs that one power punch. He has taken everything from Puas. Puas has to be frustrated, chopping that left leg still, but he hasn't said timber yet.
I've lost count of how many calf kicks Puas has connected. He's not checking the kicks. Alvarez is not checking those kicks. Now Puas, though, working the exterior of the leg, that quad hamstring area. And as he switches, Puas catches the legs. Now he's kicking him in the rib area. He's precise. He doesn't waste his shots, Max.
Oh, good hand into the breadbasket, came over the top, Puas. He hasn't been as frequent with those punches here in this round 3, but frequent enough.
Alvarez
very long from Alvarez.
Yeah, Alvarez did pay attention to his corner. He said, use that jab, that left, and then follow up with the cross. He's doing it. Here, you hear Alvarez's corner, forward. Keep pressing that. Puas, already Perez, as you can see there, the open scoring that second round going to Puas.
Puas Perez will win this fight as long as he is able to eat up that clock. Does he want to, though? He's on the front foot. He's taking the center of the jaula.
He's calling him in.
These are the fight. These are warriors. They don't want to back into a win. They don't.
To find that energy to make those gestures in a fight, man. I mean, this is...
This isn't football. This isn't soccer where you can eat the clock.
Right.
You fight to the final bell. Puas has taken a whooping. He's been magnificent. This is a testament for Alley Cat Alvarez, and a guy who just will take and stand there and say, oh, big right hand from Alvarez. And he catches him again. He's got those long arms.
This man, there's no quit in this man. He has a heart of a lion. Persistent, he keeps going. Alvarez is a flying down. He's sleeping.
Dropped him. Unbelievable. Puas tells him, I got you. This will not go to the final round.
Man.
One of the best fights in Combate history. Alvarez wants to get up, the doctors won't allow him, and Puas is raking it in
right before the bell rang in that first round, he gave that look. And I don't know if it was to his significant other, but I want to say it was to Baby Buddha calling him out.
It had to be.
Wow, man. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy is the real deal. This guy is for real. This guy is not all talk. Look at Alvarez, man. Like, you know, mad hat off to this guy. He's wounded. Both those legs are shattered. Look at his face busted open, but somehow, some way, he gets on his feet. Look at that.
He is going to be so uncomfortable tonight, icing up his leg, icing up his right eye, probably getting stitches. He doesn't care. He is just disappointed.
He's denying help.
He was in a position, until he got knocked down, he was still in a position where he could have won that fight.
Yeah.
He believed it. He believed it.
Listen, this is the type of fight that if you are an up-and-coming MMA fighter that you want to see, because this shows you how much heart that man has.
We'll get the official decision. Unbelievable fight.
Mi nombre es Vernon Michael Ramos. Mi edad son 30 años y soy de la ciudad de Panamá, Panamá.
Mi nombre es Iván Choco Castillo, tengo 32 años y vengo de Ensenada, Baja California.
No soy la misma persona dentro de la jaula. Fuera de la jaula soy una persona muy pasiva, tranquila, amistosa, pero dentro de la jaula es como otra persona, ¿no? Soy una persona muy decidida, muy tenaz y mi estilo de pelea lo dice.
Abajo de la jaula no me gusta mucho hablar, mucho las palabras, pero sí demuestro lo que siento y arriba de la jaula creo que también lo demuestro con los golpes.
Iván el Choco Castillo es el rival que estoy enfrentando esta noche.
Esta pelea es contra Vernon Ramos de Panamá.
Muy agresivo, es mexicano. Los mexicanos tienen un estilo de pelea, son fajadores, siempre van hacia adelante.
Pues es un peleador veterano igual que yo.
La pelea se va a desarrollar bastante en el stand-up, va a haber muchos scrambles en el suelo también.
Creo que la pelea se va a llevar de pie, pero la verdad no creo que le alcance el cardiovascular para los 3 rounds.
Iván, espero que salgas a dar lo mejor de ti ese día. No espero nada menos que eso, porque ten por seguro que te vas a dar lo mejor de mí.
Pues su tiempo ya fue. A ver del tiempo de Choco y pues está en mi camino. Hay que quitarlo nada más.
While you were away, Samuel Alvarez was on the stool. He finally got up after he was tended to by the doctors. The whole place applauded for him. Such an incredible effort. But it's Puas' night to Lupe.
Este combate concluye con un tiempo oficial de 3 minutos, 14 segundos del tercero y último asalto. This bout concludes with an official time of 3 minutes, 14 seconds of the third and final round. Your winner, by way of KO, el vencedor por knockout, el Puas, Cristian Perez.
Puas improves to 10-1, 2 wins via TKO, 5 via submission, and he's going to talk to our Lindsay Casinelli.
El rey de la bufadora, el rey
la bufadora.
Puas Perez, un final dramático para un
It
combate
was a dramatic final to the fight. How did you end up finishing this fight? Because he was giving you a battle. I don't remember much. I just know that I threw in that right. My corner was asking for it. I was just waiting for the right moment. I was just waiting for the moment.
Poco a poco, sobre todo con esa patada abajo, low kick.
You throw that low kick.
Derecha también le estabas dando a la zona media del cuerpo.
You were working the midsection of the body. Yeah, I was working preparing for a left-handed fighter. But I kept on with the same strategy.
Cristian,
Switched it.
a diferencia de otros combates donde sales con mucha explosividad, este lo fuiste llevando poco a poco.
Unlike other fights that you come out swinging right from the start. This is a different take. You were more patient.
Pues me encantaría aquí que el boss me diera el cinturón.
I want the boss to give me the chance at the title.
I want the belt, boss.
Aquí está, lo hacemos ahora mismo. Que quiere el cinturón, señor Campbell McLaren.
He
Se lo da.
wants the
Vamos a
belt,
pelear.
Campbell.
Well, it was a good fight. Like a great fight. So, what's next?
He wants the belt. He wants the belt. Quiere el cinturón para México.
Yes, queremos el cinturón. Arriba mi gente
I
de
want the
México. Nos
the
ven por
title.
el Canal 5. Gracias a todos por su apoyo.
Stand up,
¡Viva
Mexico!
México!
All the
Queremos el
folks in
cinturón.
Channel 5, I want the belt.
That was a big deal. He was happy to be on Channel 5 in Mexico. Numbers
De
increased.
Combate global.
Wow, again, a fight we won't forget. Puas, not as pretty as he was, got a little blood on the nose there from Ali Cap, but still.
Can't always come out pretty after a fight.
He's a matinee idol. He is a big star, and when it comes to fighting, maybe the best here in Combate Global. We have one more fight coming your way. Panama, Mexico. Vernon Ramos, Ivan Choco Castillo. The waterways in Miami, connecting Miami to Miami Beach. One more fight here. What a moment for Vernon Ramos fighting for his público, the folks of Panama. This is a big moment for the man and his country. Huge challenge ahead of him against Ivan Castillo. Tulupe.
Entrando a la jaula, Vernon Ramos.
Vernon Ramos, and we get to see that Panamanian flag making its way out to La Jaula. He comes out here at some point. They're looking for Vernon Ramos.
He's on his way. Vernon
In
Ramos.
the meantime, we'll see the
Vernon
135-pound strap.
Vernon Ramos has said, I want to be that mixed martial arts pioneer from my country. When you think of fighters coming out of Pana, who do you think of? Roberto Duran, Mano de Piedra.
We mentioned Roberto Duran. Lots of great boxers. Boxing is huge there. MMA is just in diapers, and success for a guy like Ramos, you can't understate how important it would be, because the folks catch ear of it, because Combate Global is on everywhere, and a kid goes, I'm into that. It takes one.
That's all it takes, and this man right here, he's leading the path for Panama in mixed martial arts. And what's going to be very important is here that he's ready to go. Let's see if he lives up to what he said.
Su contrario, Ivan Castillo.
In the NBA, they have Jerry West as part of the logo. At this point, if there was a Combate logo based on a fighter, I think it would have to be Choco Castillo. This is his 37th fight. He took his fight last time while on vacation. Combate said, wait, we know it's a big ask. Can you come over here in a few days? I know you're on vacation with your family. He said yes. And he came and he lost. It's an unbelievable. He's just
back
a tough
again.
guy. He's back again.
And prior to that, going back to last year, he was on a long winning streak. So Ivan Castillo, he's a fighter's fighter. This guy is literally the guy that you just call him up and he's ready to go.
He has a huge edge in this. It's going to be at a catch weight of 175 pounds. They would normally fight at the welterweight. Vernon Ramos taking this fight on short notice. 4-inch height advantage for Choco. He's a massive welterweight, and 4-inch via the reach. For the officials, Tulupe Contreras.
Continuamos con mucha más acción. Este duelo, 3 vueltas a un peso pactado a 173 libras. We continue with much more action. This bout at a catch weight of 173 pounds. Los jueces son, the judges are Dorian Mirasola, Vicente Rodríguez y James Lázaro. Presentando la esquina azul, vestido de azul con blanco, presenting the blue corner. Wearing blue with white, su peso oficial. 172 libras, his official weight. 172 pounds. Entra a la jaula en su 9º combate a nivel profesional, con 7 victorias y 1 derrota. He enters la jaula for the 9th time as a pro, with 7 victories against 1 lone defeat. De la ciudad de Panamá, Panamá, Vernon Ramos. Su rival en la esquina roja, vestido de rojo. His opponent in the red corner, wearing red. Su peso oficial, 174 libras y media. His official weight, 174.5 pounds. En su 38º combate a nivel profesional, con 22 victorias y 15 derrotas, y enters la jaula for the 38th time as a pro, with 22 victories against 15 losses. De Ensenada, Baja California, México, Iván Choco Castillo. El referee, Josh Rutgers.
Josh Rutgers, again, the man inside la jaula, the third.
Bring it in, gentlemen. All right, we already went over the rules in the locker room. If there's any questions, ask them now. If not, just listen to me at all times, protect yourself at all times, do everything you can within the rules to win. Most importantly, best of luck, God bless. Touch them up, go back to the corner, wait for the bell.
Iván Choco Castillo, who fought Jimmy Sandlin just about 3 weeks after his prior fight. They were back-to-back defeats.
Ready?
Before that, he was untouchable in 2021. He is in the red as he rattled off 4 straight wins.
Ramos a strong dude. Just look at the size of his back, man. This guy's jacked.
Ramos 7-1 from Panama City, the one in Panama, not the one north of us here in the panhandle of Florida. 3 submission victories.
Castillo knows exactly what to do. He's gonna let Vernon move around a lot. We don't know. He doesn't know. Vernon said that I've been training, I've been ready for a fight, but how much time has he put in? So what's gonna test him out is his cardio. Is he willing to get to the second, third round? That's what Iván is doing. She's very, very Vernon though didn't connect with that right hand.
Oh, it's in pretty deep. Ramos has to pivot. We can't really see. Josh Rutgers has got it close, like his head is out of there. Ramos dodges a bullet there, wipes his brow.
Vernon has very, very heavy hands. He has bricks in those things, adding all that muscle that you have. But again, the more muscle you have, the more of a chance you have of losing that steam as you get to the latter part of the fight.
Now into the clinch. Ramos will like his chances here. He's making his Combate debut. 7-1's a great record, but a lot of those fights are in Panama. Nowhere near the competition he's facing. This is the toughest fighter he has fought by a long shot.
It's a whole different game here in Combate Global. Vernon, this is his big chance, big opportunity, and a big stage like La Jaula. I'm sure lots of folks in Panama checking this out, supporting his man.
Oh, Choco's got him by one leg and drops him. Ramos hangs on. He's trying to turn it towards the back. This is a real catch-as-catch-can. Both of them trying to get an upper hand, although finding a few stop signs along the way.
Vernon stands, though. You know, it's kind of loopy.
But Choco's a little uncomfortable against Ramos.
Yeah.
I think he's finding not what he expected.
Vernon's a big dude, man. He's a big dude. He's going to have to rely on his consistency, his resilience, a lot of jab work, a lot of movement to tire Vernon out.
Choco with the kick, and he got out. Ramos returns the favor. Both catch some leather on that lead leg. Ramos from Ciudad Panama says he loves the diversity of his country. He spoke so highly of it. He goes, there's just 4 million of us. And there's only 4 million. It's a small country, so to speak. And we have it all. To represent Panama right now, they're going through a social crisis, an economic, political one. One of the biggest in the history. He means a lot to fight for his country right now. It means so much to him and his countrymen and women tuning in. Gets the back of Choco.
Good takedown defense there for Vernon to get out of that position. Wrapping up the hands on the wrist. See how Choco's pushing that grip. Can't really see if he has a gameable grip. He doesn't have anything there.
Rodolfo, one of the more exciting parts of calling fights for Combate is we're expanding new countries. And you see there's still growing pains in a lot of places. But every now and then, Javier Reyes comes to mind from Colombia, getting better, and all of a sudden he is an elite fighter. Some of the Spanish fighters, Tino Guilarans of Spain, same kind of thing. They get it after a bit once they get the good training and they get a few fights under their belt.
Aruba, I mean, we have so many countries from France.
Ramos looks pretty developed.
He came to play today. He's a man of his word. He says, I've been ready. I was just waiting for that call, for that opportunity. And he's stepping up to the plate.
Not giving Choco anything as he digs in. About a minute and change to go in this opening round.
So we're reaching that 5 minutes here in this first round. Much left. Castillo, though, got caught there with that left calf kick on the left leg. A lead leg. Vernon, his stance, it could throw you off because it seems like very loopy, but it works for him.
Now Choco unloads.
Oh, is that blood on the calf?
Well, we just wrapped up a bloody mess of the fight between Puas and Alicat. One of the best fights in Combate. If you missed it, check out the Paramount library when it comes out. It's truly something to behold. Ramos with the kick, something we don't see too much of him.
Great block of the kick, though. What they call it the phone booth. You know, because you hold your phone. That's how you got to block the kick.
People don't know what a phone booth is anymore. When's the last time you were in a phone booth? A real one.
Anymore. They took them out of New York, I heard.
Approaching the end of the first round, we'll be back with round number 2. It's going to be a tight first round. We overuse the expression the feeling out process, but that's what that was, without question.
Oh, but both of these men felt what they're capable of doing. We thought there for a second that Castillo was going to finish off the fight very quickly with a submission, but Vernon had great defense, countering it. Heavy right hand, grappling as well. The cardio's there, but let's see if it lasts for 2 more rounds. If you notice, when they put Vernon in the corner, they had to lift his leg up. Gonna get that circulation going.
Seconds up, fighters up, let's go.
See if it lasts.
Back here for round 2, Ivan Choco Castillo, some valuable time in between rounds to recalibrate things, and he goes for a takedown.
Well, he has the advantage. He has the advantage of the wrestling. But Vernon is just a strong athlete. He's able to position himself here, using la jaula as a backdrop to position himself, preventing Castillo from full-on takedown.
I believe that was the Ramos corner saying, no es mejor que tú. And he's not better than you. Sometimes a fighter loves to hear that.
If I'm Choco, I'm a little hyped up about that. I'm going to do something about it, right?
Choco from the same hometown of Puas, who just fought in Ensenada, California. We're talking about being proud of your city, your country, and I believe it was Puas who said about Ensenada, I love it because you can get from one end to the other in a couple hours.
And you know what's cool is how much they respect each other. He looks up to Puas. He admires Puas, which is pretty cool stuff. So right now, he has to feed off that momentum. Puas just had an awesome freaking victory. This man has to pick up the pace.
And Choco is the favorite here. This is the guy who also fought in Bellator, who has been going at it for a long time at 32 with 36 fights, 8 knockout victories, 5 submission victories, and Ramos got the nod in the first round. That is huge for the Panamanian.
Wow.
Again, we cannot understate how big this would be for Ramos and Panamanian MMA. Oof. Missed on that uppercut. Ramos sits him down.
He got the
Takes the
takedown.
back.
And again, he is the more stronger of the two here. All that body weight on Castillo will get you tired.
Con calma, papi.
For the folks that don't understand, with patience, be patient. You know, Choco, how many fights does he have? He has like what, close to
36.
36. I don't know, but Dan to be Severin there, you might have some competition.
He's only 32.
He's only 32.
That's the thing. He fought.
Dan has over 100.
Yeah, he ain't catching Dan.
Well, why not? He's at 32. He's pulling in 6 fights, 7 fights a year.
Ivan Choco, he says his inspiration is Arafat Torres. You'll see one of the matchmakers here for Combate Global. And Combate loves him because he will come in a pinch when you need him. and they'll make him whole with these big fights. So this is his third fight in 2022. In 2021, five fights for Choco, and then he was active in 2019.
Oh, wait, needs to be cautious. Ivan needs to keep that chin down. He can't leave any openings. Vernon was trying to find that opportunity to sink in that rear naked choke.
This is no fun for Choco. That weight,
it's
triangle
exhausting.
in.
All that body weight, you have the figure 4 lock on the body.
Spinning away.
Or had that body lock.
Now that big arm of Ramos trying to get underneath the chin of Choco.
He's a big dude. He's a very strong guy. And usually when you see Choco Castillo, we've seen him here in the lightweight, we've seen him in the welterweight. He tends to be the bigger of the fighter, but it's the opposite here.
We should say Ramos does have some pedigree. Did fight way back in 2015 for the Ultimate Fighter for UFC.
This
now
could
he
be
gets
trouble.
the mounts.
This could be trouble, Max.
Choco can't budge him. He's too strong.
Vernon has all that weight on Castillo's hip. I mean, all he has to do is mount up, position his body up, land those shots.
This would be a real eye-opener if the result goes Ramos's way. Sits down, puts all his weight on Choco.
Choco hates to be in this position. We've seen it in previous fights.
I can't imagine any fighter likes to be in that position, but you got to find a way out.
It is the most exhausting position in MMA.
We should say there are some fighters who like to be in there because they can counter.
They can maneuver out of it, right? But trust me, but look,
Vernon firing down.
Vernon holding on to Choco's right hand, the wrist, and then landing shots with his right. Softening him up. He's tiring Ivan.
30 seconds.
Oh, there he is.
Ramos got a hold of the head, but Choco's at least got him back to his feet. Not much behind that guillotine attempt, and Choco's really good at fighting and drops him.
Now this is his opportunity for Choco to turn the page. Now land those shots. Exhaust Vernon.
Third round looks like it will be coming. Risk control for Ramos. The question is, as we head to a third round, was there enough for Ramos to win round number 2? If he does, it's in real good shape. Round 3 coming your way next. Where we go. Big spot here for Ramos. He had a game plan, it's working.
He went for the takedown. He got it right from the start. Tried to look for a submission, wrapped around his legs, body lock, landing some shots. Choco did get frustrated there. And then he got the mount, landing in those shots, but Choco was able to bridge and get out later on in this round. But surely enough, Vernon did damage enough to impress the judges, in my opinion. Vernon possibly took this round as well.
I would tend to think he did.
Choco looks tired.
That big body lying on top of you, no fun. Ramos ready for round 3. The Panamanian taking on Ivan Choco Castillo. The question is, when we see the official scoring, did he win round 2? And if he did his corner tell him so he can size up this third round? Combate Global here on Paramount Plus. My name is Max Pretos alongside Rodolfo Roman. Our final round of the night in what has been a remarkable evening, highlighted by Puas Perez going 10-1 in a fight for the ages.
What a fight. If you missed it, go back and rewatch it.
We're going to go rewatch it.
Yes, I'm going to watch it again and again. And for Sam,
Just
man.
don't do it in Miami traffic.
No. And for Sam, man, I mean, that's a fight I would love to show my kids.
Yeah.
Even though I lost, man, but that is this motivation. Inspiring.
Pure entertainment. Vernon Ramos gets the nod for all 3 judges. Corner has to tell him that, right? You're winning this fight.
Yeah. Yes.
Fight
but
smart here.
But do you play in the defense? Just lay your body in there, lay some shots, or you go for the knockouts? You want to impress the boss? You want to come back to Combate? You got to show something to the bosses, right?
Yeah. He's shown enough, but you want to show a little more submission, a little bit more stand-up game. This is Ramos' thing. Now, being a pioneer, as he calls himself for Panama, could open a few doors because that's a new marketplace.
Let's see some work.
Choco needs to get out of this clinch work, land in some knees, and take this fight to the center of La Jaula and trade.
Choco, who trains with the Blaxicans in Ensenada, with Puas, Bam Bam Velasco. Used to professional cyclist back in the day.
Choco is the lighter of the two. Somehow, some way, he needs to remember that cardio that he has, and we've seen it.
Josh Rucker's going to break him up.
And use those hands. Use that jab. Move around. There it is.
There's Choco.
That's exactly what he needs to do. Good. That's exactly what he needs to do. Push him off when he goes in for that takedown. But just box him.
Ramos going to throw some hands too.
And if you notice, Vernon's corner says, put your hands up, because they know that Choco is coming for the KO.
Every time Ramos punches or leads into Choco, he looks uncomfortable. Doesn't like the size of this fighter. As you see the stats, and there have been some punches for Ramos. A lot of this fight's been on the ground. Choco's actually had the edge on takedowns, but missed a bunch of them.
You see, now he's going back to his boxing. He feels very confident with his switch kick there. Don't want to get it detained unless you get the mount. And somehow, we're in the guard, but somehow, some way, position yourself. Right now, Choco has everything to his ability by using La Jaula. But now he's going to get out from this position. He's going to grab that grip. No, he's pushing him down.
This has been far and away Choco's best contribution these last 90 seconds. He's winning this round, but that's not going to be enough. He needs to finish this fight.
Vernon doing what he needs to do to keep the momentum going in this fight.
Choco takes a knee. Maybe that allows to get the wind into your lungs a little bit.
And of the two, Choco is just fast-paced, but Vernon's punches, they come in slow, but they come in heavy.
Getting closer to the biggest moment in the professional career of Vernon Ramos, who is just a wonderful guy. You talk to him, he's well-spoken, articulate, speaks highly. He feels very gentle when you talk to him, but you can see he's a tough dude. Went through a very harrowing situation that still haunts him and his family. His father, 10 years ago, his father who brought him into the combat sports, disappeared.
That's crazy.
Never be found again. And obviously people expect the worst, but the family of Ramos still holding out hope that one day.
Crazy to think in this day and age with technology that happens, you know. But what's interesting about that story is it was his dad who introduced him to the sport, and this allows him to kind of, he knows what the situation, of course he expects perhaps the worst of the worst, but it pushes him, it motivates him to keep fighting in memory of his father.
Yeah, he says his father gave him so much motivation, and his father would have wanted him to take this path.
Inspiring stuff from this young man.
Fighting for him and his family so much. He peels back that arm, but there's no time left for Choco.
That's it. He has 18 seconds. Choco needs to go anything that he can.
Ramos is tired, but does Choco have a huge power punch in him?
Ramos is just countering, playing the defense. He knows he has less than 10 seconds to go. He knows he has this fight in the bag.
Well, Choco Castillo had a long winning streak. It's turned away. That is the game in mixed martial arts. Giving all the proper respect to Ramos, who is going to collect his breath, and when he does, he'll be looking at the biggest moment in his pro career. We are back, waiting the official decision, our final fight of the night. Vernon Ramos fighting for Panama, his flag on his shoulders. Great sporting nation. Will we add MMA to that list? Just make a big step towards it.
Los
Tolupe.
jueces Mirasola y Rodríguez entregan tarjetas idénticas de 29 a 28. Judges Mirasola and Rodríguez scored about identically at 29 to 28. Y el juez Lázaro anotó 30 a 27. Judge Lázaro scores it 30 to 27. Los tres a favor del ganador por decisión unánime. In favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. De Panamá, Vernon Ramos.
What a moment for that man. who's been through so much. The emotions are being held back. You know it's running through his mind right now. Thinking about his father, his family, his country, and thinking about himself. Lindsay Casanelli is inside of the jaula. This is a great story, folks, and it's wonderful to be along for the ride. Scream for me, Panama! Also good at baseball, by the way.
Yes.
Rod Carew.
Yes.
Basketball, Rolando Blackman.
Lo primero que sale de tu boca cuando te
First thing
dicen
that comes
que
out of
eres
you,
el ganador de la noche es
you are the winner.
Panamá.
Panamá. How do you
Panamá,
feel?
Panamá, mi patria querida.
That's my
Esto
country.
Es por ustedes.
That's for you.
Esto es para ustedes en estos momentos tan
That's for
difíciles que
you.
estamos
It's a
viviendo.
difficult time.
Es momento de luchar por nuestro
It
país,
is a time to
por
fight for
nuestros
our
derechos,
country,
y aquí
for
se
our
empieza,
rights.
señores y señoras.
Durante todo el combate, tu esquina te estaba nombrando a Panamá y a tu papá.
During the entire time, your corner was mentioning your father and your country.
Hasta el día de hoy se encuentra desaparecido.
Yeah, my father
Sin rastro,
has disappeared
sin novedad, sin ninguna investigación andando con él.
with no
Pero
investigation.
siempre lo llevo aquí en mi corazón.
I take him in my
Mi
heart.
motivación, él y mi familia, los que me quieren.
My family,
Sin duda por
him,
todos.
they love me.
Muchas gracias por tenerme en la jaula de Combate Global.
Thank you for allowing me
Estoy
to
muy contento de ser
fight in the
el primer
jaula.
panameño
I'm very happy to be
debutando
Panamanian
en esta gran liga.
Vamos a
and
recordar
be part of the big leagues.
este combate que fue espectacular.
Take a look at the fight.
Una velada sensacional. Un rival muy difícil, como lo decía en el Choco Castillo.
It was a tough fight with Choco.
Castillo es un rival durísimo.
Choco is a tough rival.
La verdad es que es un rival con mucha más experiencia que yo.
He has a lot
mucho
more
más
experience than
récord.
me.
Tomé la pelea en corto aviso.
I took the
solamente
fight on
7
short
días,
notice.
Yo venía preparado, entrenado y dispuesto
I was
a llevar la
ready,
victoria a mi casa.
trained.
Una lucha de poder a poder y lo platicábamos mientras veíamos el transcurso de los rounds. ¿Quién tenía más poder? Realmente los dos trajeron dinamita.
We asked to see who would have the most power, but both of you guys brought the dynamite.
Que él no esperaba menos de esta pelea. Sabía que es una pelea muy, muy difícil.
I knew that this was going to be a tough fight.
Tuve que pelear inteligente.
I had to fight smart
Usar la cabeza y el corazón para poder
and
llegar
use my heart and my head.
Lo vemos en la estadística, fue el uso de tus patadas.
Look at the stats. It was the usage of your kicks that helped you, especially the low kick.
Que gracias a mi coach,
Thanks to my coach,
Carlos Macia,
Macia, we've worked out working on my striking
y esa fue una de
and
las
the kicks.
estrategias y una de las vías para poder ganar esta
And that was one of the strategies to win this fight.
Se dieron, se pudo ejecutar el plan a perfección.
The plan worked to perfection, and here we are.
Para todo Panamá.
Message to Panama.
Te amo.
Love you.
Está Vernon Ramos. No le llamé un regreso porque nunca me fui a la jaula. Solamente tuve unos 2 años de mierda.
We never went out of the jaula.
What was that, Rodo?
I'm not saying that. Google it.
Sí se puede.
But yes, we can.
Sí se puede.
Regreso con ustedes, Leo y Pube.
You're gonna have to get your Google translator.
He's very outspoken about the political situation in Panama, and we know when things are a little bit uneasy there, to be that way may complicate things. And Vernon Ramos doesn't seem to care, and he's worried about his family. They want to continue to look for his father, and right now he has a voice box and he's taking it. So
he had that chance.
more power to him.
He had that chance. He had that.
You don't have to.
microphone.
You could be meek there, and he wasn't.
Yes, but you know when you carry your country on your back, and this is your chance to voice your opinion. Why not?
Ruben Blades, also from Panama.
Ruben Blades.
Ruben Blades.
Blades, get it straight, man.
I'm just for it's our American audience here.
El tiburón. Look at that song.
Camila Rivarola in the top 5 in our strawweight rankings, which we showed you. She'll be in action. Maybe she has a date with Andrea Amaro, victorious over Claudia Diaz. Vernon Ramos going pillar to post to defeat the very experienced and hard-hitting Ivan Choco Castillo. And then the fight, maybe of the year. Puas victorious over Alibeth Alvarez. We're out of time. On behalf of Campbell McLaren, Rolfo Roman, Victor Bagué, Art Izquierdo, my name is Max Pretos. Plácido Domingo.